Chapter 1962. When Zhao Ritian took out the Flame Emperor Cauldron, Joyful Buddha knew that his primordial spirit avatar would not be able to survive. After all, even a sage would not be able to withstand the terrifying Emperor's aura. Although Zhao Ritian could only unleash 1/10,000th of the Flame Emperor Cauldron's power, it was enough to kill his primordial spirit avatar. However, he was not worried at all, especially when he saw that Zhao Ritian had an extreme Dao Emperor weapon in his hand. He was even more determined to obtain it. Old bald donkey, go to hell. Zhao Ritian's eyes were filled with killing intent. He was about to drive the Flame Emperor Cauldron to kill the primordial spirit avatar. Hold on. Ling Xiao suddenly lifted his head and stopped Zhao Ritian. There was a strange light in his eyes. It's too easy to kill him. Why don't I try and see if the spirit of karma can devour his primordial spirit? Hearing Ling Xiao's words, Joyful Buddha's face turned cold. He stared at Ling Xiao and said, "Lad, I'll leave the 3 spirits of karma with you for the time being. I'll come and get them myself. Also, I want this emperor weapon. You want to devour my primordial spirit? Dream on." Rumble. As soon as the Buddha of Joy finished his words, a black flame ignited around him. It looked mysterious, but his body burned in the flame in an instant. Then he turned into a rain of light and dissipated. Joyful Buddha would rather destroy his primordial spirit avatar than let Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian take advantage of him. This old bald donkey is too easy, Zhao Ritian said gloomily. After all, Joyful Buddha was a king sage. Although his primordial spirit avatar was no match for the Flame Emperor Cauldron, he had chosen to commit suicide before Zhao Ritian. There was nothing Zhao Ritian and Ling Xiao could do. If what he said is true and Joyful Buddha's real body is in the 8 Treasures Lotus Pond of Merits, I'm afraid we're going to be in trouble. Let's wake Xiao Yu up and get out of here as soon as possible. There was a trace of worry in Ling Xiao's eyes. After refining the 3 spirits of karma, he finally understood the cause of the matter. It turned out that the body of the Goddess of Joy was occupied by the avatar of the Buddha of Joy, while Xiaoya's soul was sealed in the little princess. This was why the devil spirit ancestor could detect the spirits of karma from the little princess. The spirit of karma was bestowed by heaven and earth. Even though the Buddha of Joy was a Saint King expert, it was still difficult for him to devour the spirit of karma. On one hand, he used the identity of the Goddess of Joy to create the Nirvana world to steal everyone's life origin. On the other hand, he sealed Xiao Yu's soul in the little princess's body. He wanted to use a secret method to separate Xiao Yu's soul from the spirit of karma. This process was very difficult, so the Buddha of Joy did it secretly. However, Ling Xiao wasn't sure if the Buddha of Joy had other motives. At this moment, he had no time to think too much. He placed the unconscious Goddess of Joy and the little princess together. Then, he activated the 3 spirits of karma that he had devoured and fused them into the little princess's glabella. Wang. Suddenly, a dazzling light shone from the little princess's glabella. The 3 spirits of karma were extremely intelligent and seemed to be able to devour everything. At this moment, they exuded waves of excitement as though they had sensed their master. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The 3 spirits of karma shot into the glabella of Xiaoya. Then, an illusory female primordial spirit slowly emerged from the glabella of the little princess. Then, it turned into a stream of light and fused into the body of the Goddess of Joy. The Goddess of Joy slowly opened her eyes. Her gaze was calm and indifferent, but it was filled with endless emotions. I'm Xiaoya. Thank you for saving my life. The Goddess of Joy bowed deeply to Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Although Xiaoya's primordial spirit was sealed in the little princess's body, it didn't block her perception of the outside world. Therefore, Xiaoya knew everything that had happened during this period. It was just that she couldn't tell Ling Xiao. Miss Xiaoya, you're too courteous. We were entrusted by someone. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other and smiled. They finally felt relieved. They had finally helped Master Jiu find Miss Xiaoyu. They had fulfilled the fate of this unfortunate couple. How did you know that Xiaoya's primordial spirit was in the little princess's body? Zhao Ritian's eyes were filled with curiosity. I guessed it, Ling Xiao said with a smile. Ling Xiao's perception was extremely strong. especially the incomplete secret skill of fate and secret skill of karma. It was as though he could see some things in the unseen world. In addition, after devouring the 3 spirits of karma, Ling Xiao could sense that Xiaoya's primordial spirit was in the little princess's body. In fact, the spirits of karma were Xiaoya's soul. It was impossible to transfer the spirits of karma, as the goddess of joy had said. Even if Xiaoya died, it would be difficult to succeed. In the depths of the White Horse Temple, in an ancient palace, Yuan Xian of the blissful sect was sitting cross-legged in the palace. His body was surrounded by dazzling Buddhist light. Sounds of Sanskrit chants could be heard, causing many mysterious phenomena to appear around him. At this moment, Yuan Xian could not help but tremble. In an instant, a terrifying aura exploded from his body. You stole my spirits of karma and destroyed my primordial spirit avatar. You all deserve to die. This time, whether it's the spirits of karma or the Supreme Emperor weapon, I want them all. Yuan Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. His face was cold and filled with vicissitudes of life and sharpness. Crack! Yuan Xian stood up from the palace. Instantly, a terrifying sage aura filled the air. Like a wave, it shattered the palace. Yuan Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent as he walked toward the scripture depository. In the hollow world, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had already awakened Xiaoya and the little princess. Although the seal on Xiao Yu's soul had been released from the little princess's body, the little princess didn't seem to have heard anything. Instead, she stared at the golden bodies with curiosity in her eyes, constantly sizing them up. Miss Xiaoya, we'll bring you out of here now, Ling Xiao said to Xiaoya. Xiaoya looked at the golden Buddhas in the distance with a strange look in her eyes. She said, Benefactors, the Buddha of joy has great magical powers and monstrous strength. If you go out like this, you will definitely lose your lives. Perhaps these golden bodies can save our lives. Oh, Miss Xiaoya, what do you mean? Zhao Ritian asked curiously. Chapter 1963. These golden bodies of Buddha should have been left behind by the Buddhas of the ancient times. They contain the supreme power of the Buddhas. If we can refine them and use the remaining power of the Buddhas, we should be able to unleash the power of a sage for a short period of time. If each of you refine a golden body of Buddha, you should be able to protect us and kill our way out. Xiaoya stared at the thousands of golden bodies of Buddha and said slowly, Refine the golden bodies of Buddha? Miss Xiaoya, although these golden bodies of Buddha are right in front of us, they are separated by endless time and space. Even if we can refine them, I'm afraid it will take us a long time to establish a connection with them. Ling Xiao shook his head and said. He did not have much hope in this. My 2 benefactors, you have entered the tiger's den to save me. I have nothing to repay you with, so I'll use 2 golden bodies of Buddha to repay you. Later, both of you can sense these golden bodies of Buddha. If you can establish a connection with 1 golden body of Buddha, I'll draw it out from time and space for you. Xiaoya smiled faintly. With a wave of her slender hand, a dazzling rain of light flew out from her palm and flew towards the golden bodies of Buddha. Between Xiaoya's eyebrows, a brilliant light blossomed. Circles of light spread out and spread towards the surrounding void. Spirit of karma? Ling Zhao's eyes flickered. He immediately realized that Xiaoya was using the spirit of karma to sense the golden bodies of Buddha. He did not expect the spirit of karma to have such a wonderful use. Strands of silk spread out and silently fused into the bodies of the thousands of golden bodies of the Buddhist sect across the endless space and time. The power of karma ignored time and space. Even if it was at the end of the world, it could see through everything in an instant. Moreover, it was indestructible. Instantly, Ling Xiao saw thousands of golden bodies of Buddhists appearing from the chaos. Every golden body of Buddha was lifelike. They were thousands of feet tall, and even tens of thousands of feet tall. Their bodies seemed to be cast from gold, and contained an extremely powerful Buddhist power. All of them lowered their heads and smiled faintly. Their postures were different, and contained an extremely mysterious energy fluctuation. Hurry up and choose your golden bodies of Buddha. Xiao Yu's anxious voice entered Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's ears. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's heart skipped a beat. They knew that this was a huge burden for Xiaoya. He immediately reined in his emotions, and his powerful heart force spread out as he began to choose the Buddhist golden body before him. Generally speaking, the larger the Buddhist golden body, the stronger the aura on its body. Naturally, the higher the quality of the golden body, which meant that it was a golden body left behind by a supreme expert. However, this was not absolute. After all, everyone cultivated different secret techniques. Even if it was the powerful golden body of Buddha, with Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's current cultivation, it might not be that easy for them to refine it. Therefore, it was best if it was suitable for him. Ling Xiao's heart force gushed forth as he observed the golden bodies. Some of the golden bodies were like blazing flames, like Mahavairakana, emitting boundless light and heat. Some of the golden bodies were filled with sharpness, radiating sword chi that seemed capable of piercing through the sky. The auras of these Buddhist golden bodies seemed to be more or less the same. Since that's the case, I'll just randomly pick one. Ling Xiao thought to himself. He could not see anything special about the thousands of Buddhist golden bodies, and he could not help but feel a little disappointed. Buzz. Suddenly, the wordless heavenly book in his sea of consciousness trembled slightly, and a ray of light appeared, pointing in the direction of the thousands of Buddhist golden bodies. Ling Xiao followed the wave, and saw that there was an inconspicuous golden body among the few Buddhist golden bodies. It was dark gold in color, and it was only a few 100 feet tall. Its aura was faint, and it was easy to overlook it. No matter how one looked at it, this Buddhist golden body was too ordinary. At first glance, Ling Xiao could not see anything special about it. However, the wave of the wordless heavenly book made Ling Xiao realize that this Buddhist golden body was extraordinary. This energy wave. It's a secret technique from the wordless heavenly book. Could it be that this Buddhist golden body has cultivated the secret technique of karma? Suddenly, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He felt an aura from this Buddhist golden body that was of the same origin as the wordless heavenly book. Instantly, he felt a rush of excitement. If this Buddhist golden body had cultivated the secret technique of karma in its previous life, perhaps Ling Xiao would be able to obtain the complete secret technique of karma from it. Ling Xiao immediately made up his mind to choose this Buddhist golden body. Zhao Ritian also chose a Buddhist golden body very quickly. However, this guy was very showy. He chose the tallest Buddhist golden body, which was more than 10,000 feet tall. Its entire body emitted a golden light, as if it was burning brightly like the sun. It was dazzling. That Buddhist golden body should have cultivated the flame divine powers in its previous life. Therefore, after its death, the golden body would emit such a mysterious phenomenon. Get ready to refine the Buddhist golden body. Seeing that Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had both chosen the Buddhist golden body, Xiaoya's eyes flashed with 9 different colors. In an instant, she stretched out her hands and grabbed at the chaotic void. Rumble. Strands of karma intertwined and finally converged on the 2 Buddhist golden bodies. Then, Xiaoya grabbed them in her palm and abruptly lifted them up. Instantly, primal chaos rose and the void trembled. 2 incomparably terrifying auras descended. There were 2 Buddhist golden bodies. One of them was 100 feet tall, and its entire body was dark gold. Its face looked a little blurry. The other one was 10,000 feet tall, and its entire body was golden. It was filled with flames and its aura was extremely terrifying. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian immediately sat down with their legs crossed, and prepared to refine the 2 Buddhist golden bodies. 1. The void trembled slightly. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's primordial spirits flashed, and were about to shoot towards the Buddhist golden bodies. The Buddhist golden bodies were the remains of the Buddhist Vedanta after his death. Although the primordial spirits will had long dissipated, it still retained a portion of its power. Such a Buddhist golden body was a powerful holy treasure. However, it was not an easy task to completely refine it. Ling Xiao's primordial spirit wanted to enter the golden body's sea of consciousness. Immediately, he felt a strong rejection. His expression was calm and indifferent. The aura around him was ethereal and mysterious. Rays of Buddhist light spread out. Ling Xiao immediately used the incomplete secret skill of karma. Instantly, a mysterious connection was formed between him and the Buddhist golden body. The mysterious chanting of sutras could be heard. The surrounding void trembled slightly. Ling Zhao's primordial spirit was no longer obstructed, and directly entered the golden body's sea of consciousness. Rumble. Chapter 1964. A warm glow enveloped Ling Zhao's primordial spirit. He could see that in the sea of consciousness of the golden body, there seemed to be an illusory figure. It looked like some kind of imprint, mysterious and unfathomable. "You're here." An ancient and vicissitude voice reverberated in the void. "You recognize me?" Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he looked at that ancient figure and asked. However, that figure was extremely blurry. He could only vaguely see that it was an old monk, but his face couldn't be seen clearly. "I recognize you, but you don't recognize me. However, the karma between us has long been determined. This golden body of the Karma Buddha is left for you." That voice said calmly. "The golden body of the Karma Buddha? Who is the Karma Buddha?" Ling Zhao asked doubtfully. This name was unfamiliar to him. The Karma Buddha was a member of the ancient Buddhist sect. It was said that he was the person closest to the three ancient Buddhas. He was only half a step away from attaining the Tao and becoming an emperor. "His golden body is destined to be left for you," that figure said. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. The person closest to the three ancient Buddhas? Where is this Karma Buddha now? Why did he leave his golden body for me? And who are you? Ling Zhao's heart was filled with doubts as he asked three questions in an instant. The Karma Buddha had long disappeared in the ancient war. This golden body is the last trace of him in this world. As for why he left his golden body for you, to be exact, he left his golden body for the owner of the wordless heavenly book. As for me, I'm merely an imprint for the Karma Buddha. After completing my mission, it's time for me to disappear as well," that figure said slowly. As expected, his figure began to dim as though he was transforming into Tao, emitting a strange glow. Karma Buddha. Karma Buddha. What he cultivated was the secret art of karma. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he suddenly asked. That's right. The Karma Buddha had attained Tao through the secret art of karma. However, his success was due to the secret art of karma, and his failure was also due to the secret art of karma. Little brat, let me remind you. The wordless heavenly book is both a blessing and a curse. You can use it, but you can't trust it. Remember it. As soon as the figure finished speaking, it was as if a bolt of lightning had shot out from his body, and he disappeared completely in front of Ling Zhao. Ling Zhao's primordial spirit had also completely occupied the golden body's sea of consciousness. Without any hindrance, he refined the golden body as if it was his own body. Is it a blessing or a curse? Could it be used but not trusted? Why were his words so similar to the Emperor of Kunwu Mountain? Could it be that the wordless heavenly book is really an ominous item? Ling Zhao frowned slightly. He still had many doubts in his heart, but unfortunately, that figure disappeared too quickly, especially after saying the last sentence. It was as if he had touched some kind of taboo and disappeared completely. Ling Zhao recalled that the Emperor of Kunwu Mountain had once said the same thing to him. However, he had also suggested a solution, which was to collect the 12 sky arts before becoming a saint. However, from the looks of it now, how difficult would it be to collect the 12 sky arts? This was an almost impossible task. I can only collect the 12 heavenly arts as soon as possible. Perhaps the secret art of karma can be found on this golden body. Ling Zhao thought in his heart. Rumble. The golden body of the Karma Buddha emitted a vast and ancient aura. Ling Zhao's body had completely fused with the Karma Buddha. Without any hindrance, he had completely gained control of the golden body of the Karma Buddha. An incomparably strong feeling of power surged into his heart, causing his body to tremble violently. With a slight clench of his fist, the void trembled as though he could tear it apart easily. At the same time, Ling Zhao could feel that the heavens and earth around him had become so clear. He was like a fish in the sea, as though he could borrow the power of the heavens and earth to suppress everything. The power of a saint. This was definitely the power of a saint. A saint is indeed too strong. However, it's a pity that the remaining power in the golden body of the Karma Buddha is only enough for me to fight with my full strength. Ling Zhao thought in his heart as a look of regret appeared in his eyes. You refine the golden body of the Buddha so quickly? Xiaoya's astonished voice traveled into Ling Xiao's ears. In just a short period of time, Ling Xiao had completely refined the golden body of the Buddha. Even Xiaoya found it hard to believe. This golden body of the Buddha seems to be extremely compatible with my body. I was just lucky. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. As for Zhao Ritian, he was still bitterly refining the golden body of the Buddha. Ling Xiao could feel that Zhao Ritian was using all his strength. The power of the Emperor Yin Cauldron was surging within the golden body of the Buddha. It was erasing the imprints of the golden body of the Buddha, so that Zhao Ritian could refine it without any hindrance. Rumble. The golden body of the Buddha exuded a terrifying aura. In an instant, endless flames rose up, as though they could burn everything into nothingness. The golden Buddha body that was over 10,000 feet tall slowly opened its eyes. Two beams of incomparably excited light shot out from its eyes. Ah! Ling Xiao, take my punch. Zhao Ritian laughed loudly. He glanced at the golden body of the Karma Buddha beside him, and threw a punch at Ling Xiao. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Ling Xiao smiled faintly and threw out a punch as well. The golden body of the Buddha and the golden body of the Buddha clashed. One was bigger than the other, but the power that they exuded was equally terrifying. The blazing fist print was released, as though a sun had exploded in the void. Boundless light gushed out as the flames burned fiercely. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's bodies shook violently as they were sent flying backward. This punch was evenly matched. Ling Xiao, what kind of golden body did you choose? It can actually go against my Vairocana golden body? Zhao Ritian's eyes revealed a hint of surprise. The Vairocana golden body of the Buddha that he had chosen had an extraordinary origin. It was said that it was left behind by the Vairocana Buddha. The Vairocana Buddha had an extraordinary relationship with one of the three ancient Buddhas, the Tathagata Buddha. This made the golden body of the Buddha even more mysterious. However, Zhao Ritian did not feel any emperor's aura from the Vairocana golden body of the Buddha. It must be the golden body of a sage, so he did not mind. However, he believed that the Vairocana golden body of the Buddha was the strongest among all the golden bodies of the Buddha. This golden body of mine was left behind by the Karma Buddha. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He did not hide the origin of the golden body and slowly explained it to Zhao Ritian. Karma Buddha? That sounds pretty impressive. I didn't expect your luck to be as good as mine. Zhao Ritian said with jealousy. Benefactors, it seems like it won't be easy for us to leave this place. The Buddha of Joy has already arrived at the scripture depository. Chapter 1965. On the third level of the Sutra Depository, the space where the Three Eras stone tablet was located was originally a mysterious heart realm. It contained an extremely majestic emperor's aura. Even the two sages guarding the Sutra Depository could not see through it. At this moment, Yuanchen was standing on the third level of the Sutra Depository, looking at the Three Eras stone tablet in front of him. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Yuanchen was no longer the disciple of the blissful sect, but the joyful Buddha. Although the joyful Buddha's original body did not enter the Eight Treasures Lotus Pond of Merit, the sage avatar that he sent possessed 30% of his original body's strength. Although it was only 30% of his original strength, it was enough to kill a sage and injure a supreme sage expert. The joyful Buddha's many years of planning had gone down the drain. His killing intent towards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had reached its boiling point. He knew that Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian would definitely come out from the space of the relic Golden Buddha. That was why he waited here to kill Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, so that he could snatch back the karma spirit that belonged to him. Gotcha! Suddenly, the door of the relic Golden Buddha in the void opened again. Dazzling divine light shot out from it as Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and Xiaoyu flew out with the little princess in his arms. Although there were thousands of golden bodies in the space of the relic Golden Buddha, it was already a great fortune for Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian to be able to obtain two golden bodies. It was impossible for them to obtain all of the golden bodies. However, the joyful Buddha had already blocked their way in the short time that they had spent refining the golden bodies. You are finally out. The joyful Buddha's chubby face seemed to be full of smiles, but his eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Ling Xiao and the other three. Boom! A vast and terrifying sage aura exuded from the joyful Buddha's body as though it could crush everything. It locked onto Ling Xiao and the other three, as though it was going to explode at any time. Joyful Buddha, you old bald donkey, how dare you find trouble with us? Is it not enough that we have destroyed one of your primordial spirit avatars? Do you still want to die? Zhao Ritian glanced at the joyful Buddha and sneered. Both Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had refined a golden body. However, in order to make the joyful Buddha lower his guard, they kept their golden bodies and showed their true faces. They wanted to make the joyful Buddha lower his guard, so that he could deal a fatal blow. Therefore, even though Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked calm on the surface, they were secretly accumulating their strength, ready to strike at any time. Mandapa Buddha, the spirit of karma belongs to Xiaoyu. She is not destined to be with you. You are the leader of a sect, yet you have committed the 3 precepts of greed, anger and foolishness. Could it be that you still don't know how to repent? Ling Xiao stared at the Buddha of joy and said calmly, trying to show off your dharma in front of me? The spirit of karma originally belonged to me, and now it includes your lives. I know you won't give up, so I'm too lazy to talk to you. Hand over the karma spirit and the extreme Dao monarch weapon, and you can all die. The Buddha of joy said with a faint smile. The killing intent in her eyes was extremely strong at this moment. Rumble. The terrifying saint aura around him pressed down on Ling Xiao and the other 3. At the same time, he stretched out his hands and pierced through the void like the claws of a real dragon. His speed was extremely fast as he grabbed at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's heads. Obviously, the Buddha of joy did not want to face the Yen Emperor Cauldron directly. Therefore, she chose to strike first to gain the upper hand. If it was an ordinary sage to be, even a 9th revolution sage to be, they would not be able to dodge this attack and would be killed instantly. However, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were different. The 2 of them had long been on guard against the Buddha of joy. At this moment, when they saw the Buddha of joy attacking, they attacked at the same time. Rumble. Blazing Buddhist light gushed out from Ling Xiao's body, and a dark golden light flowed around his body. His entire body instantly swelled up, and he became over 300 meters tall. His entire body was filled with explosive strength, and then he punched out. Ling Xiao's fist print was extremely fierce. The strength of this golden body was far beyond his original body. Therefore, when he used the Karma Buddha golden body to perform the Peerless Emperor Fist, it seemed to be able to traverse the heavens and myriad worlds. In an instant, it sealed the hand of the Buddha of joy and collided with it violently. Kacha! Blazing light burst out as Ling Xiao blocked the attack of the Buddha of joy. Although he was pushed back, his body reversed at an incredible angle and charged at the Buddha of joy at an even faster speed. What? You have refined a golden body? The Buddha of joy's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. She immediately recognized that this was a Buddhist golden body. Otherwise, it would not have such pure and powerful Buddhist power. Moreover, the power of the Karma Buddha golden body made the Buddha of joy secretly shocked. She vaguely felt that she could not control it. Boom. Zhao Ritian's body was shrouded in endless flames. Suddenly, his body expanded to a height of 10,000 feet. His entire body was covered with dazzling golden light. The flames burned the heavens and the earth. An ancient and mysterious giant cauldron appeared between his hands and pressed down on the Buddha of joy. Old bald donkey, go to hell. Zhao Ritian shouted excitedly. His attack was extremely tricky. After the collision between Ling Xiao and the Buddha of joy, he immediately manifested the Vairocana golden body and activated the Emperor Yen cauldron with the Vairocana golden body. Immediately, a vast and mighty Emperor aura erupted from the cauldron. The peerless sharpness seemed to be able to annihilate the entire world. Oh no! The Buddha of joy felt a terrifying sense of danger approaching, and immediately retreated without hesitation. After guessing that Zhao Ritian might have refined the Buddhist golden body, the Buddha of joy knew that she was in trouble. The Buddhist golden body was not terrifying. However, when the Buddhist golden body was used to activate an emperor weapon, its power was enough to destroy everything. Even the Buddha of joy did not dare to face it head-on. The Buddha of joy's hands moved at lightning speed. In an instant, 108 golden runes were shot out. Together with a dark golden ruler, They gave off a terrifying divine aura as they charged towards the Yin Emperor Cauldron. Rumble. The Yin Emperor Cauldron descended. It was surrounded by blazing flames as though suns were emerging. A mysterious scene shrouded the heavens and the earth. The invincible aura was enough to destroy everything. The 108 talismans that Mandapa Buddha had laid down were the Infinite Sand Talisman Formation, one of the most powerful talismans in the Buddhism sect. It contained powerful defensive power. The ferrule was a supreme treasure that he had obtained. It was rumored to be a fragment of an imperial weapon. However, under the invincible power of the Yin Emperor Cauldron, the 108 golden runes exploded. Even the ruler was sent flying by the Yin Emperor Cauldron. Chapter 1966. Puff. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. The Merry Buddha spat out a mouthful of blood. The void shook and he split into thousands of clones. A mysterious space law descended and his aura disappeared. Kacha. The Flame Emperor Cauldron collided with the void, causing the void to shake violently. Cracks appeared in the void and black space turbulence appeared. It was extremely violent. The Merry Buddha's body flashed and reappeared on the spot. However, his aura seemed to be a little chaotic. His eyes were filled with cold killing intent and his face was pale. Although he was powerful enough to crush Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian with one hand, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had both obtained a golden body. Moreover, Zhao Ritian had the Yin Emperor Cauldron, which was a powerful weapon. Thus, the Buddha of Joy was hesitant to attack. It was as if he was facing a hedgehog. Kill. Ling Xiao did not give the Merry Buddha any chance to catch his breath. He threw a punch at the Merry Buddha. The fist print was unparalleled and domineering. Get lost. The Merry Buddha's terrifying aura exploded. He threw out a palm and smashed Ling Xiao's fist print into pieces. Then Ling Xiao was sent flying. Although the Merry Buddha's body was not here, the strength of his clone was not to be underestimated. Even though Ling Xiao had refined the golden body of the Karma Buddha, he was no match for the Merry Buddha. Swoosh. Ling Xiao was sent flying. Although his body was shaking and his blood was in turmoil, he did not suffer any injuries. His body flashed and he continued to attack the Merry Buddha. Old bald donkey, if you have the ability, fight me head-on. Didn't you want to kill me? What's the point of dodging? Zhao Ritian sneered. The Flame Emperor Cauldron floated above his head and shone down rays of light, making him look mysterious and majestic. Although Zhao Ritian was joking, he did not let his guard down. Blazing flames flew out from the Flame Emperor Cauldron and turned into a few shadows of three-legged golden crows in the void. They flew across the sky and pounced on the Merry Buddha. Zhao Ritian slapped the Flame Emperor Cauldron, and a strange sound wave vibrated. The mysterious pattern on the Flame Emperor Cauldron shone brightly. The figure on the pattern seemed to have come to life. Then in the raging flames, it pounced on the Merry Buddha. Rumble. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian attacked Joyful Buddha from both sides. Their attacks were ruthless and deadly. They wanted to finish off Joyful Buddha as soon as possible. After all, although the scripture pavilion was temporarily safe, there were the demon spirit ancestor, Tank Garuda, Puji Imperial Preceptor, and other experts outside. If they discovered the karma spirit in Xiaoya's body, it would be troublesome. The void shook violently. Every punch seemed to be able to destroy the heavens. The blazing Buddha light shrouded Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and the Buddha of Joy. Joyful Buddha felt extremely aggrieved. Without the Emperor Yen Cauldron, even if Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had refined a golden body and temporarily possessed the power of a sage, he would still be able to kill them. However, the Yen Emperor Cauldron was restricting him in every way. The terrifying Emperor's aura was activated by the power of a saint. Even though he had the combat strength of a Saint King, he couldn't do anything about it. Damn it. The Buddha of Joy's eyes were about to spit fire. If his real body was here, with all kinds of means and supreme treasures, he might be able to seize the Yen Emperor Cauldron without any effort. But now, he had no choice but to fall into a disadvantageous position. Joyful Buddha die. Zhao Ritian shouted. In an instant, he controlled the Emperor Yen Cauldron and attacked Joyful Buddha again. The Emperor Yen Cauldron spewed out red clouds and flames rose. The The terrifying power around Zhao Ritian was swallowed by the Emperor Yen cauldron like a whale swallowing the sea. In an instant, Boundless Emperor's aura exploded. Rumble. Dazzling suns rose from the Emperor Yen cauldron one after another. Amidst the boundless flames, a horrifying figure appeared and slowly merged with Zhao Ritian. Zhao Ritian's face turned pale instantly. However, his eyes were brighter than ever. He stared at Joyful Buddha and said coldly, "Joyful Buddha, have a taste of my strongest power." As soon as Zhao Ritian finished his words, a blazing fist print flew across the sky and pressed down on Joyful Buddha. This fist was surrounded by endless flames, and even the void started to burn. This fist was like the resurrection of the Emperor Yen. It wanted to burn down the heavens and sweep across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. It was overbearing and unstoppable. Chirp. The mysterious cry of a phoenix resounded in the heavens and earth. The Emperor Yen cauldron flashed, and turned into a fire phoenix and pounced on Joyful Buddha. This guy is taking too much of a risk. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly in his heart. Zhao Ritian had gathered all the power of the Virokana golden body to activate the Emperor Yen cauldron. Under the activation of the Virokana golden body, this supreme emperor weapon finally revealed its true form. With this blow, Zhao Ritian would no longer have the strength to fight. Even if he killed Joyful Buddha, there were still many experts outside who were eyeing him covetously. However, since things had come to this, Ling Xiao did not say much. He also rushed toward Joyful Buddha. The blazing light between his eyebrows shone brightly. He was ready to kill Joyful Buddha at any time. "You are crazy." Joyful Buddha looked at the Emperor Yen cauldron in the void in disbelief. This Supreme Emperor weapon's divine power had completely awakened. It was like a Supreme Emperor had awakened. Joyful Buddha felt his scalp tingle. A great emperor was an invincible existence. Even a sage, a supreme sage or a sage king was just an ant in the eyes of a great emperor. He could crush them to death with a flip of his hand. Joyful Buddha was finally afraid of the Emperor Yen cauldron, this supreme emperor weapon that had destroyed the balance. Rumble. Joyful Buddha bit the tip of his tongue and spat out 9 mouthfuls of blood. Runes bloomed around him and turned into a black light. In an instant, it covered this part of the heavens and earth. Endless darkness shrouded everything. Great Mandara Boundary. This was a secret technique of Buddhism. When Joyful Buddha used it, there was a mysterious concept of darkness descending upon the heavens and destroying all life. Joyful Buddha did not choose to dodge as he knew that there was no room for him to dodge under the attack of the Supreme Emperor weapon. Hence he could only give it his all. He used his own blood essence to build the Great Mandara Boundary to block the attack of the Emperor Yen cauldron. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. Zhao Ritian's fist print and the fire phoenix formed by the Emperor Yen cauldron hit the Great Mandara Boundary. The mysterious black light trembled, as if it was going to be engulfed by flames at any time. The flames burned fiercely and the Great Mandara Boundary shook violently. In the end it exploded. Chapter 1967. Swoosh. With a flash of light, Ling Xiao used the secret teleportation skill. Like a golden lightning bolt, he caught up with the Buddha of Joy in an instant. Then he struck a palm on the Buddha's chest. The Buddha opened his eyes abruptly and stretched out his hand to block Ling Xiao's attack. At the same time, rays of Buddha's light surrounded his body and repaired his damaged body. The Buddha of Joy was not dead. Ling Xiao sneered in his heart, but he did not hesitate to strike the Buddha of Joy's arm. The Buddha of Joy was severely injured by the Flame Emperor's cauldron, and could not withstand Ling Xiao's attack. He trembled violently and was hit hard on the chest. Puff! The Buddha of Joy spat out blood, and his eyes were filled with murderous intent. "All of you deserve to die." The Buddha of Joy's voice was hoarse and crazy. He stared at Ling Xiao as if a knife was coming out of his eyes to cut Ling Xiao into pieces. "Damn it, it's you," Ling Xiao said indifferently. He suddenly exerted strength in his palm, and the heaven-devouring secret skill exploded. A terrifying vortex appeared in his palm, and a strong devouring power came from it. Boom! There was a huge bloody hole in the Buddha of Joy's chest. At this moment, the Buddha of Joy's majestic chi and Buddha's power flowed into Ling Xiao's body through the bloody hole. Ling Xiao was surrounded by a golden glow. He did not hold back this time. Not only did he activate the heaven-devouring secret skill, but he also activated the wordless heavenly book. With the support of the wordless heavenly book, the heaven-devouring secret skill exploded with the most terrifying power. This is the heaven-devouring secret skill? Who are you? The Buddha of Joy was shocked and looked at Ling Xiao in disbelief. Boom. Ling Xiao ignored him and focused on the heaven-devouring secret skill to absorb the power of the Mandala Buddha. After all, the body of the Mandala Buddha was only a 9-revolution half-saint, Yuan Chun. He had been severely injured by the Yin Emperor Cauldron and could no longer withstand Ling Xiao's terrifying devouring power. In an instant, all his blood and life essence were devoured by Ling Xiao. Yuan Chen's physical body was destroyed. A black shadow floated out from his body. He looked extremely weak, and his eyes were filled with resentment. This shadow was the real joyous Buddha. All of you deserve to die. I'll remember you. If you don't die today, I'll personally come and take your lives. Joyful Buddha said coldly. You think you can escape? Stop dreaming. Zhao Ritian sneered. He and Ling Xiao worked well together. While Ling Xiao was devouring the power of the joyful Buddha, Zhao Ritian had already used the last of his strength to activate the Yin Emperor Cauldron to seal the void. The severely injured joyful Buddha could not escape. Who said I was going to run away? The Buddha of Joy's expression suddenly calmed down, and a strange smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Whoa. The figure of the Buddha of Joy trembled slightly. In an instant, a strange wave bloomed. The blazing Buddha of Joy's body gushed out, and the strange sound wave immediately spread out of the Sutra Depository Pavilion. The Karma Spirit is on the 3rd level of the Sutra Depository Pavilion. The voice of the Buddha of Joy was like a loud bell, reverberating above the White Horse Temple. Damn it. Ling Xiao's eyes turned cold. He did not expect the Buddha of Joy to do this. Regardless of whether it was the demonic ancestor or Tankegura, they would be the ones to blame. However, if the Buddha of Joy wanted to do this, even Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian could not stop him. I hope you can survive. I wish you good luck. The Buddha of Joy looked at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, smiled faintly, and disappeared without a trace. Let's go. Ling Xiao grabbed Zhao Ritian, Little Yu, and the little princess and rushed out of the Sutra Depository Pavilion without hesitation. Outside the Sutra Depository Pavilion, the voice of the Buddha of Joy reverberated above the White Horse Temple. The eyes of the demonic ancestor, Tankegura, and State Master Puji flashed. The Karma Spirit is on the 3rd level of the Sutra Depository Pavilion? You bunch of old bald donkeys, damn it. However, the Karma Spirit is destined to be mine. The demonic ancestor stared at Tankegura and State Master Puji and sneered. He instantly gave up on fighting with Tankegura and rushed towards the Sutra Depository Pavilion. Demonic ancestor, where are you going? Tankegura's eyes flashed with battle intent as he chased after the demonic ancestor. At the same time, he was puzzled. The figure just now was very familiar. It looked like a Buddha from the Buddhist sect. Although he deliberately hid his identity, he still noticed it. However, why would a Buddha from the Buddhist sect say that the Karma Spirit was on the 3rd level of the Sutra Depository Pavilion? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At the same time, Ling Xiao and the other 3 rushed out of the Sutra Depository Pavilion. The Karma Spirit is indeed on you. Ha ha. I've searched high and low for it, only to find it by chance. The demonic ancestor's eyes instantly fell on Little Yu and the little princess, and his eyes flashed with excitement. With the demonic ancestor's strength, how could he not sense it? Little Yu had the Karma Spirit that he needed. Rumble. The demonic ancestor immediately made his move. Black divine light whizzed over, emitting a ghostly wail and howling sound. It turned into a large black net, and directly enveloped Little Yu and the little princess. How dare you, demonic ancestor! Tankegura roared as he threw a punch across the sky. The fist print was like a blazing sun, and the wind from the punch was like a howling wind. It directly dispersed the demonic light that filled the sky. Tankegura took a step forward, grabbed the black net, and tore it apart. Instantly, the net was torn apart. Tankegura, do you really want to fight to the death with me? The demonic ancestor was so angry that he screamed. His eyes were bloodshot as he stared at Tankegura. "We have already fought to the death for a long time." Tankegura sneered. His battle intent was monstrous as he locked onto the demonic ancestor. "Let's go." Ling Xiao saw that Tankegura had stopped the demonic ancestor, and this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He immediately called out to Zhao Ritian and Little Yu, and wanted to sneak out of the Sutra Depository Pavilion. "Stop. Who are you people?" A cold voice was heard, and it exploded in Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's ears like thunder. Puji exuded a majestic aura, and his aura was monstrous. His eyes were incomparably cold as he blocked Ling Xiao and the other's path. Chapter 1968. Although State Master Puji knew Xiaoya, the Saintess of Joy, and Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, who had saved the little princess, he was still alert after being reminded by the Buddha of Joy. At this moment he displayed the strongest cultivation of a great sage. His body was full of sage aura, and his eyes were full of divine light. He immediately realized that something was wrong. Although Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were both born in the Eight Treasures Lotus Pond of merits and virtues, they were sent in by Master Jiao after all. They did not come in through the proper channels. Imperial Advisor Puji immediately noticed the incongruous aura fluctuation. After sensing Xiaoya's aura, State Master Puji could not help but tremble. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He sensed the aura of the spirit of karma. Although he did not know what happened on the third level of the Sutra Depository Pavilion, he knew that the spirit of karma that the Buddha of Joy mentioned was most likely Xiaoya. After all, the spirit of karma in the little princess was only planted by State Master Puji to deceive the demon spirit ancestor. Strictly speaking, it was not the spirit of karma. "State Master Puji, don't you know who we are? Now that the extraterrestrial demons are invading, I hope that State Master Puji will not be blinded by the demons. We will work together to kill the enemies." Xiaoya smiled faintly. Her temperament was extraordinary, and she was graceful. She immediately regained the peerless beauty of the goddess of joy. "Blinded by the demons? I think you are the demons' accomplices. Why aren't you surrendering now?" A strange light flashed in State Master Puji's eyes. His face became colder and colder. He shouted at Xiaoya and Ling Xiao and charged towards them. The moment he sensed the spirit of karma in Xiaoya's body, he made up his mind to take the spirit of karma for himself. It did not matter whether Xiaoya was the goddess of joy or not, nor did it matter what Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's motive for sneaking into the Eight Treasures Lotus Pond of merit. Nothing was more important than the spirit of karma. Rumble. Puji's whole body bloomed with blazing rays of light. His kasaya was dazzling, and he held a purple gold Buddhist staff in his hand. His other hand reached out to grab Ling Xiao and the others. His palm print covered the sky as if it had turned into a mysterious country, making it impossible for people to escape. The supreme divine ability of Buddhism, the Buddhist kingdom in a palm. This old bald donkey must have taken a fancy to the karma spirit as well. A sharp glint flashed across Ling Xiao's eyes. He had underestimated the allure of the karma spirit. Even state teacher Puji had attacked without a word. At this moment, Xiaoya's vitality had yet to recover. Zhao Ritian was also recovering his cultivation base. He was the only one who still had the strength to fight. However, in the face of a supreme sage, Ling Xiao was like a small boat in the middle of the ocean. It was as if he could capsize at any time. If Ling Xiao relied on his own strength, even if he used all his trump cards, he would not be able to shake Puji at all. However, Zhao Ritian had already handed the Flame Emperor Cauldron over to Ling Xiao. Rumble. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of blood-red killing intent. His battle intent soared, and his entire being became a little crazy. At this point, he could only go all out. If he wanted to escape from the Eight Treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue World, he must first defeat the tiger in front of him, Puji. Facing the vast Buddhist country in a palm before him, Ling Xiao's eyes were cold. Killing intent rose around him, and the Flame Emperor Cauldron was instantly filled with boundless flames that soared into the sky. At the same time, Ling Xiao summoned the golden body of the Karma Buddha. In an instant it grew to 100 feet tall. Its entire body emitted a dark golden light, and the Buddha light was boundless. Using the Karma Buddha to activate the Flame Emperor Cauldron, Even though the golden body contained boundless Buddha power, Ling Xiao still felt as if it was being sucked dry by the Flame Emperor cauldron. An extreme Tao Emperor weapon was not something that an ordinary person could control. What? This is an extreme Tao Emperor weapon? Feeling the vast extreme Emperor pressure, Imperial Preceptor Puji couldn't help but tremble, and his eyes revealed a look of disbelief. The Buddhist kingdom in a palm he displayed was a grand divine ability that he had refined for countless years. It was almost like a vast macro world. He was confident that even a saint would be trapped in it and would not be able to escape. For the sake of the karma spirit, he wanted to capture Xiaoye, Ling Xiao, and the others. However, he had never expected that Ling Xiao would have an extreme Tao Emperor weapon on him. An extreme Tao Emperor weapon was a supreme killing weapon that could break the balance. It could allow one to challenge and even kill an expert of a higher level. The Flame Emperor cauldron spun in the void. An ancient and boundless extreme Tao Emperor aura gushed out. The flames turned into suns, and countless shadows of flame divine beasts surrounded the cauldron. They were boiling and roaring, exuding a monstrous aura. Crack! A crisp sound came from the world that was shrouded in darkness. The void seemed to have shattered, and a crack appeared on Puji's palm. Damn it! Puji hurriedly retracted the Buddhist country in a palm. His face was filled with pain. This was a supreme superpower that he had refined for countless years. After being hit by the Flame Emperor cauldron, it was badly damaged. He did not know how long it would take for it to recover. Extreme Tao Emperor weapon. The demon spirit ancestor and Tank Gera, who were in the midst of a fierce battle, were alarmed. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. This was especially true for Tankegera. He could be considered the guardian of the 8 treasures Lotus Merit Pond world. He had never expected an extreme Tao Emperor weapon to sneak into the 8 treasures Lotus Merit Pond world. Haha. I did not expect that the old ancestor would have such a great harvest today. This extreme Tao Emperor weapon is not something that an ant like you can wield. Hand it over. The demon spirit ancestor's face was ferocious. His eyes were filled with greed and cruelty. He could not care less about the battle with Tank Gera. His entire body exploded and disappeared from Tank Gera's senses. In an instant, he reappeared tens of thousands of feet away and pounced on Ling Xiao. The demon spirit ancestor was a true Saint King realm expert. As the ancestor of the extraterritorial demons, his strength was terrifying and unfathomable. Sensing the demon spirit ancestor's aura, Ling Xiao felt a suffocating pressure. It was like a mortal facing a boundless storm. There was no way he could resist. Buzz. The Flame Emperor cauldron was instantly recalled by Ling Xiao. Boundless flames gathered above him, Xiaoye and the others, forming a powerful ancient cauldron. It looked crystal clear. Chapter 1969. Hehe, you actually obtained the golden body of Buddha sect? However, with your cultivation base, even if you have the golden body of Buddha sect, how long can you sustain the extreme Tao Emperor weapon? Hand it over obediently and I can spare your life. The demon spirit ancestor stared at Ling Xiao and laughed. His eyes were cruel and cunning. His eyes were very sharp. If Ling Xiao was a sage to be expert, even if he had an extreme Tao Emperor weapon, he could easily kill him with his Saint King realm cultivation base. The reason why Ling Xiao could control the extreme Tao Emperor weapon and withstand the demon spirit ancestor's attack was because of the Karma Buddha golden body. Amitabha, who are you? Why do you have the golden body of Buddha sect's ancient Buddha? If you surrender obediently, I can guarantee that you won't die. Otherwise, you will be the public enemy of Buddha sect. Tank Gera, who had been calm and indifferent, suddenly lost his composure when he saw the Karma Buddha golden body. There was a trace of anger in his eyes. For the disciples of Buddha sect, the golden body of Buddha Bodhisattva was a supreme sacred object like the Saraira. It was not to be blasphemed. Although many people knew that the golden body of Buddha sect was the best treasure to condense an avatar, they were afraid of the power of Buddha sect and did not dare to do so. Even if they did, they would do it secretly. Now Ling Xiao, who was suspected to be an outsider, was controlling a powerful golden body of Buddha. It seemed that he had completely refined it. How could Tank Gera not be angry? In addition, Ling Xiao had the extreme Dao Emperor weapon, the Flame Emperor Cauldron. Tank Gara became more and more suspicious of Ling Xiao's identity. Therefore, he temporarily gave up on killing the demon spirit ancestor and wanted to capture Ling Xiao first. The demon spirit ancestor, Tank Gara, and state preceptor Puji, two saint kings and a great saint, surrounded Ling Xiao at this moment. A huge pressure came like a tsunami. It was as if it had turned into a vast sea and an endless dark starry sky that wanted to banish all life. Even with the Flame Emperor Cauldron in his hand, Ling Xiao still felt extremely dignified when he felt the aura of the three super experts. Moreover, in order to prevent Ling Xiao from escaping, the three experts had completely locked onto Ling Xiao's aura. Even if he could break through the void, they would catch up to him instantly. This is troublesome. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly in his heart. He hadn't expected that entering the 8 treasures lotus pond of virtue to search for Xiaoyu would actually be so difficult and dangerous. Now, it seemed like everything would be over if he couldn't pass this hurdle. Ah, what a nice old bald donkey. It seems that you so-called Buddhist disciples and extraterrestrial demons are just the same. You don't have to say so many nice words. Aren't you just interested in my extreme Dao Emperor weapon? Come and take it if you have the ability. Even if I die today, I will drag 1 or 2 down with me. Ling Xiao's mind was spinning rapidly as he thought of a way to escape. However, he did not show it on his face. Instead, he laughed out loud without the slightest fear. He stared at the 3 super experts in front of him and said resolutely. Ling Xiao's words made the demon spirit ancestor, Tank Gara, and state preceptor Puji's expressions change slightly. The wielder of the extreme emperor weapon had always been extremely fearsome. If they were forced into a corner, they would not hesitate to burn their life to activate the extreme emperor weapon. Even if they could temporarily erupt with the power of a supreme emperor, who could contend against them. So what if they were saint kings? It was just a slightly bigger ant. For a moment, the 3 super experts in front of them were silent. Boom. At this moment, a vast and terrifying aura suddenly descended from the sky, containing the ultimate destructive power. It was terrifying to the extreme and instantly shrouded Puji and Tank Gara. However, Tank Gara was a super expert in the Saint King realm. He was extremely vigilant and moved tens of thousands of feet away in an instant, dodging the black destructive light. However, State Preceptor Puji was not so lucky. The black destructive light seemed to be able to destroy all life and disintegrate and shatter everything from the Great Tao Law. Ah! State Preceptor Puji let out an incomparably miserable cry. His entire body was shrouded by the black destructive light. Like a sandstorm, countless pieces of flesh and blood began to dissipate. Soon only a golden skeleton was left. The golden skeleton exuded an extremely pure Buddhist light and formed mysterious runes. The black destructive light constantly destroyed the runes and reformed new runes. In the end, State Preceptor Puji's aura became weaker and weaker. The screams from his mouth became more and more intense. He was almost falling to the saint realm. This kind of sudden unforeseen event caused everyone to be stupefied. Who is it that came to save us? Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other with a trace of doubt in their eyes. This is the original world extermination light. It's you, Li Daozong. Why do you want to harm me? Do you want to betray the Buddhist sect? State Preceptor Puji roared as he stared at the void. His eyes were filled with anger and disbelief. Li Daozong. Tank Gara's eyes also became indifferent as he stared at a certain spot in the void. Kacha. A black bolt of lightning tore through the void. It was as if the world had been split in half. A vast and terrifying power surged out. A figure wearing a black dragon robe had descended. It was a middle-aged man with a majestic face wearing a black flat crown. He was extremely tall and was shrouded in black light. His aura was vast and terrifying. He was not weaker than the demon spirit ancestor and Tank Gara at all. After seeing the middle-aged man, State Preceptor Puji's eyes were filled with hatred. Father! That's my father! He's here to save us! The little princess, who had been lying in Xiaoya's arms, also showed an extremely excited expression after seeing the middle-aged man and shouted. The middle-aged man was the emperor of the Tang Empire, Li Daozong. He's actually a Saint King realm cultivator? But why did he save us? There was a trace of doubt in Ling Xiao's eyes. A light flashed in his hand, and the emperor talisman that Li Daozong had asked someone to send to him appeared. He was very puzzled as to why Li Daozong would want to get involved in this mess. Li Daozong, you've gone too far. Tank Gera frowned slightly and said lightly, I've gone too far? Ha ha ha. Tank Gera, in order to resurrect you, you refined my daughter Li Chunyang into your cauldron. Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that you killed my father? Puji, you old dog, killed my wife. Why didn't you say that? You old bald donkeys, I've tolerated you for a long time. Chapter 1970. Li Chunyang was refined into a cauldron by Tankegura. His father, wife, and children were all killed. Isn't this Li Daozong too pitiful? Zhao Ritian transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao with a strange expression. He and Ling Xiao were still wondering why Li Daozong would take action, but now it seemed that Li Daozong should have taken action long ago, but for some unknown reason, he had been holding back until now. It turns out that Princess Chunyang was actually refined into a cauldron by Tankegura. These sanctimonious old bald donkeys really deserve to die. Ling Xiao also said coldly. In the void, Li Daozong stepped on the void, exuding a domineering and terrifying aura. He was like a furious divine dragon, overbearing and majestic. His face was filled with incomparable sorrow, like a volcano erupting. His eyes were filled with undisguised hatred and murderous intent. At this moment, Li Daozong looked like a hero at the end of his road, making people unconsciously feel sympathy for him. Li Daozong, you have so many children. What's wrong with sacrificing one of your daughters to prolong the life of the founder? As for your father and wife, they are all stubborn people. They actually tried to betray the Buddha and join the extraterrestrial demons. We killed them, of course, to enforce justice on behalf of the heavens. They have been purified by the Buddha, and may be reincarnated as humans in the next life. This is their best destination. I advise you not to act recklessly. Those who dare to betray the Buddha, no matter who they are, will die even if they escape to the ends of the earth. Puji stared at Li Daozong and said coldly, such a shameless face, such shameless words. I, Li Daozong, have really learned something today. Enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens, the best destination. Tankegura, Puji, let's settle this today. Li Daozong's eyes were full of ridicule as he sneered coldly. Li Daozong, if I'm not wrong, you used a secret technique to forcibly devour the dragon vein of the Tang Empire to have your current cultivation and strength, right? However, the backlash of this secret technique is extremely strong. I'm afraid that you will be in danger of being crushed. Do you think that you can be my opponent after forcibly raising your cultivation to the Saint King realm? Tankegura's eyes suddenly flashed as he stared at Li Daozong and said lightly, forcibly raising his cultivation with a secret technique? It seems like this Li Daozong has already decided to die. Ling Xiao thought to himself. Ah, interesting, very interesting. Li Daozong, well said. These sanctimonious bald donkeys were not good people in the first place. As long as you don't stop me from capturing those little fellows, I'll help you slaughter these two old bald donkeys and avenge you. How about it? The demon spirit ancestor said with a smile. He looked at Li Daozong as if he was watching a show. Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and Xiaoya's heart skipped a beat. Their gazes landed on Li Daozong, waiting for his reply. If Li Daozong chose to help the devil spirit ancestor, then Ling Xiao and the others would be in danger. However, Ling Xiao looked at the emperor talisman in his hand, and instinctively felt that Li Daozong would not agree to the demon spirit ancestor's request. Li Daozong glanced at the progenitor and proudly laughed. Who do you think you are? Do you think you're worthy of being with my Li Dao sect? My grudges with Tankegura and Puji have nothing to do with you. Today you killed the people of the Tang Empire. You shall pay with your life. Li Daozong's voice was very domineering and carried an arrogant attitude. His voice was full of disdain, causing the progenitor to fly into a rage. Good. Li Daozong, you really don't want to do things the hard way. If that's the case, then I'd like to see how you're going to kill me. The demon spirit ancestor's eyes were filled with blood-red killing intent. Rumble. Tankegura, Puji, and the demon spirit ancestor released a vast and terrifying aura. At the same time, they locked on to Li Daozong as if they were going to launch a thunderous attack at any time. They already knew what Li Daozong was thinking. Once such a peerless figure made up his mind, there was no way to change his mind. The only way to change his mind was to destroy him. You guys are sent by He Yuanjun, right? Don't worry. I'll stop them even if I have to risk my life. You guys can take advantage of the chaos and leave little Pingyang to He Yuanjun. Let him take care of little Pingyang for me. Li Daozong's voice suddenly entered Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's ears. You know Master Jiao? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He did not expect Li Daozong to send him a message. However, his message was like a clay ox entering the sea. Li Daozong did not reply to him. Ling Xiao could see that Li Daozong, who was above the void, looked at him calmly. Then a black light rose from his body. It contained a power that could destroy everything. In an instant, the sound of a dragon's roar could be heard. Roar! 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 A clear dragon's roar reverberated in the void. Li Daozong suddenly stomped his foot and rushed towards Tankegura, and the demon spirit ancestor like a divine dragon. As for Puji, his physical body was severely injured by Li Daozong. He only had 10% or 20% of his strength left. Feeling the unstoppable power of Li Daozong, he was scared and retreated. Ba Li Daozong. Since you're so stubborn, then I'll send you to the afterlife. Tankegura softly chanted the name of Buddha. His eyes were incomparably cold as he lightly slapped his palm towards Li Daozong. Great Void Palm? Old bald donkey is still so insidious. Li Daozong sneered. He did not dodge, but punched towards Tankegura. Kacha! A black lightning bolt shot out and turned into a black divine dragon in the void. The lightning was dazzling and unparalleled. It rushed towards Tankegura's Great Void Palm. The Grand Heaven Void Palm was a supreme saint technique created by Tank Garuda himself. It was derived from the mysterious concepts of void heavens, void earth, void man, and void everything. It was capable of transforming everything into nothingness, and its might was extremely terrifying. Just like the demon spirit ancestor, he suffered a great loss under Tankegura's Great Void Palm. However, Li Daozong seemed to be very familiar with Tankegura. He did not dodge at all. Bang! When the fist and the palm collided, the black dragon was instantly smashed into nothingness by the Great Void Palm. However, black divine light surged in the void, an endless destructive light gushed out. In an instant, it exploded from all directions and enveloped Tankegura. Li Daozong knew how terrifying Tankegura's strength was, so his first attack was extremely fierce. Li Daozong, have a taste of the demon spirit ancestor's demon spirit world. Chapter 1971. Cries of ghosts and howls of wolves could be heard from all directions. The sound was extremely sharp, as if it could pierce through one's primordial spirit. As for the demon spirit ancestor's figure, it instantly split into thousands of figures and rushed towards Li Daozong from all directions. The demon spirit ancestor and Tankegura were both super experts in the Saint King realm. They were like living fossils. Not only were they extremely powerful, but their methods were also extremely ruthless. However, Li Daozong did not show any signs of weakness under their siege. Instead, he became more and more courageous as the blood energy around him rose. He had an invincible aura around him. Let's go! Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he saw the intense battle between Li Daozong and the demon spirit ancestor and Tankegura. He immediately knew that this was the best time to leave. Although he still had many doubts in his heart, and did not know why Li Daozong wanted him to bring the little princess out to Master Jiao. He knew that Master Jiao would definitely know the cause and effect of this. Whoosh! The Emperor Yen cauldron shone brightly and flames rose, causing the surrounding void to tremble slightly. Under the protection of the Emperor Yen cauldron, Ling Xiao and the other three flew out of Chang and city at top speed. Want to leave? Don't even think about it. State Master Puji had long been paying attention to Ling Xiao and the other three's movements. He could not help but sneer. Boom! Mysterious runes danced in his palm as he immediately activated the supreme array of the White Horse Temple. Suddenly, A mysterious Sanskrit chant sounded in the void as a vast and majestic Buddhist light shrouded the heavens and the earth. The void was dense as an incomparably terrifying fluctuation of the array spread out. In the void, flowers fell from the sky as golden lotuses bloomed from the ground. The ancient Sanskrit chant and the holy Buddhist light made it look like a paradise. Mysterious figures of Buddhas appeared in the void. In total, there were tens of thousands of mysterious Buddhas. They sat cross-legged in the void as their light shone in all directions. There was a mysterious fluctuation of indestructible Vajra. Kacha. The Yen Emperor cauldron crashed into the bodies of the tens of thousands of Buddhas. There was a crisp sound as if lightning had exploded. The tens of thousands of Buddhas trembled slightly, but in the end, they managed to block the Yen Emperor cauldron. This is the Thousand Buddhas Imperial Array, the supreme imperial array left behind by the three ancient Buddhas. Although this is only a corner of the imperial array, it is probably enough to stop us. We're in big trouble. Xiaoya's eyes revealed a hint of seriousness. She could feel that the million Buddhas greeting array in front of her was emitting a vast Buddhist light. Waves of Emperor's aura spread out, making the tens of thousands of Buddhas look vivid and lifelike. They all contained powerful energy fluctuations and blocked the Yen Emperor cauldron. Ling Xiao and the others were instantly trapped by the million Buddhas greeting formation. They had no way to escape. No one can escape from the 10,000 Buddhas imperial formation. You'd better hand over the Karma Spirit and the Extreme Tao Monarch weapon. Led the Ling Imperial, Ling. Li Daozong, who was fighting with the Demon Spirit Ancestor and Tankegura, was shocked. He wanted to shake off the Demon Spirit Ancestor and Tankegura to save Ling Xiao and the others. However, the Progenitor and Tank Garuda had been guarding against Li Daozong for a long time. At this moment, they used powerful techniques. Each of their attacks contained a fatal threat. They kept on attacking Li Daozong, not allowing him to save Ling Xiao and the others. Boom. 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 Under Ling Xiao's control, the Yen Emperor cauldron exploded with extreme imperial aura. It kept colliding with the Thousand Buddhas imperial array. Endless flames burned the sky, trying to turn everything into nothingness. Although the Thousand Buddhas imperial array was shaking violently, it was still an incomplete imperial array. It could not completely block the power of the Yen Emperor cauldron. However, there was little hope for Ling Xiao and the others to escape in a short period of time. Boom. Li Daozong's eyes revealed a trace of crazy killing intent. Blazing saber light bloomed from his body, making his aura incomparably sharp. Clang. The sound of a blade light being unsheathed was heard. Li Daozong held a long black blade in his hand. The blade was long and narrow, filled with black divine light. In an instant, it soared into the sky and slashed down at the million Buddhas. You're courting death. The Demon Spirit Ancestor was furious. He didn't expect Li Daozong to save Ling Xiao while they were fighting. A black demonic light gathered in his hand, and he slapped it toward Li Daozong. Tank Gara didn't say anything, but his eyes were cold and his attack was extremely insidious. The great void palm once again flew out. Open. Li Daozong looked ruthless. He didn't choose to dodge. Instead, black holy light rose around him. He chose to take on the attacks from the Demon Spirit Ancestor and Tank Gara. His long blade slashed at the million Buddhas greeting formation. Rumble. A 30,000-meter-long saber light pressed down as if it had cut through the sky. It directly slashed at the weakest part of the grand formation of the million Buddhas. Blazing divine light gushed out, and in an instant, a small opening appeared. Go. Ling Xiao didn't hesitate at all. Divine light flashed in his eyes, and the Yen Emperor cauldron also flew over at an extremely fast speed. It slammed into the small opening, and turned it into a door. The Yen Emperor cauldron wrapped Ling Xiao and the other three, and instantly turned into a fiery light, flying out of the million Buddhas greeting formation. At the same time, the Demon Spirit Ancestor and Tank Gara also slammed heavily on Li Daozong. Puff. Li Daozong's body trembled, and he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His face instantly became extremely pale. Where do you think you're going? Puji Imperial Tutor didn't expect Li Daozong to risk his life to save Ling Xiao and the others. Seeing the karma spirit and the apex emperor weapon flying away, he couldn't remain calm. He was very unwilling to give up, and he immediately soared into the sky, wanting to chase after Ling Xiao and the others. Get lost! Li Daozong wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and the long black saber in his hand slashed across the sky. The blazing saber light was extremely fast, like a divine sword that could split heaven and earth, and instantly fell on Puji Imperial Tutor's head. Puji Imperial Tutor's cultivation was originally lower than Li Daozong's, and now that he was seriously injured, there was no way for him to block Li Daozong's saber. He was directly split into two halves, and he didn't even have time to scream before his soul was completely scattered. Say hello to He Yuanjun for me. Tell him that I didn't let him down as a brother. Li Daozong looked at the figures of Ling Xiao and the others, and transmitted a message to Ling Xiao. He then laughed heartily, and turned around to attack the demon spirit ancestor and tank Gara. What a righteous Li Daozong! I'm afraid he's going to die in the hands of the demon spirit ancestor and tank Gara. Zhao Ritian sighed. After all, Li Daozong's cultivation wasn't at the Saint King realm. He had used a secret technique to forcefully raise his cultivation to the Saint King realm, and that was how he could unleash such powerful combat strength. However, when the secret technique ended, he would most likely die. We owe Li Daozong our lives. The demon spirit ancestor and tank Gara, their lives are mine. Ling Zhao's eyes were gloomy, revealing a hint of coldness as he slowly said. And me. Zhao Ritian also solemnly said. Kacha. After leaving Chang and City, the Flame Emperor Cauldron directly broke through the void and followed the spatial coordinates set by Master Jiu, leaving the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue World. Chapter 1972. Rumble. Rumble. The void shook violently as the surrounding area was filled with mysterious turbulence. Strange ripples filled the air, making it hard to tell if it was an illusion or reality. The Yen Emperor's cauldron was like a dazzling sun, blooming above the 9 heavens, emitting an eternal radiance. It brought Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, Xiao Yu and the little princess Li Pingyang out. Sob. Father. Will anything happen to Imperial Father? The little princess' eyes were filled with tears as she looked at Ling Xiao. Don't worry. Li Daozong is a hero with unparalleled combat strength. Now that we are no longer holding him back, he will definitely fight his way out. He will be fine. Ling Xiao comforted her. However, he was a little sad. Li Daozong had used a secret technique to forcefully raise his cultivation to the King Sage realm. In addition, in order to break the Million Buddha's greeting array and help Ling Xiao and the rest escape, he had taken a hit from the demonic spirit ancestor and tank Gara. This time, Li Daozong was most likely going to die. However, Ling Xiao could not say this to the little princess. He could only comfort her and give her some hope. This is too depressing. These Buddhist monks are a bunch of sanctimonious bastards. Ling Xiao, in order to save us, Li Daozong is going to die this time. Are you going to avenge him? Anyway, I Zhao Ritian will remember this. Zhao Ritian said to Ling Xiao through telepathy. His face was ghastly and his eyes were filled with killing intent. How is that possible? If we don't avenge him, how can we face Li Daozong and the little princess? When I become a martial sage, I will enter the 8 treasure Lotus Merit Pool again. At that time, it will be the death of the demonic spirit ancestor and tank Gara. Ling Xiao said coldly. Along the way, everyone was in low spirits. Li Daozong had already made up his mind to die. Although they had only met once, Li Daozong's heroic spirit and image had been deeply imprinted in Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's hearts. Crack! After flying for a long time, when the Yen Emperor's cauldron broke through the void boundary wall again, a bright light filled the air. Ling Xiao and the other 3 appeared in a secret chamber. A white-haired old man sat in the secret room. He was Master Jiu, who had been waiting for a very long time. When he saw Ling Zhao's group of 4 suddenly appear, he could not help but shiver. His gaze immediately landed on Xiao Yu behind Ling Xiao. He was extremely excited and uneasy, like a young man meeting his crush for the first time. At that moment, it was as if Master Jiu only had eyes for Xiaoya and no one else. The moment Xiaoya saw Master Jiu, she froze for a moment. Then she seemed to have thought of something. She covered her mouth with both hands, and her body began to tremble violently. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other. They immediately carried the little princess and quietly left the secret room, leaving Master Wine and Xiaoyu alone. The joy of reuniting after such a long time made Ling Xiao very emotional. They did not want to ruin the beautiful time between Master Jiu and Xiaoyu. They knew that after not seeing each other for so many years, they probably had a lot to say to each other. Outside the secret room, there was still a snowy mountain range. The sky was high, and it was extremely vast. Standing on top of the mountain, there was a sense of loneliness. Hee, this time we have completed our mission perfectly. Ling Xiao, although you gave me the elixir formula of the golden primordial chaos pill, I don't owe you anything anymore. We are even. However, remember this. The next time I see you, I will not show you any mercy. I will definitely defeat you. Don't be too weak and disappoint me. Zhao Ritian stretched his back and took a deep breath of the fresh and cold mountain wind. He was very pleased with himself. This time, thank you very much. Ling Xiao smiled and nodded. This time, in the 8 treasures lotus pond of merit, Ling Xiao did not expect the foundation of the Buddhist sect to be so terrifying. If it were not for Zhao Ritian's Emperor Yen Cauldron, he would not have been able to rescue Xiaoyu so easily. Moreover, he and Zhao Ritian had each obtained a golden body of the Buddhist sect. He had high hopes of obtaining the complete secret skill of karma from the golden body of the Karma Lord Buddha. These were all great rewards. There's nothing to thank me for. I'm not helping you. We are just taking what we need. Zhao Ritian raised his head and said proudly, Brother Kasayapa, is this the realm of the gods? The little princess looked around and asked curiously. She had heard Li Daozong talk about the realm of the gods. He said that the realm of the gods was the origin of all worlds and the birthplace of all life. This was her first time in the realm of the gods, so she was very curious about this place. Ling Xiao did not hide anything from her. He told the little princess about how they entered the 8 treasures lotus pond of merit to look for Xiaoyu. Little princess, this is the realm of the gods. The realm of the gods is extremely vast. You will slowly understand it in the future. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Zhao Ritian stood there in silence for a while. Suddenly, his expression became a little strange. He said to Ling Xiao through telepathy, Ling Xiao, Second Master wants me to tell you that the golden body of the Karma Lord Buddha that you have obtained is not simple. I'm afraid it would be a waste for you to just refine it into a clone. If you want to achieve sanctification with your physical body and obtain the secret skill of karma, perhaps the best way is to integrate the golden body of the Karma Lord Buddha into your own body. Second Master? That mysterious existence in your body, right? What's his background? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. Black and white divine lights filled the air, as if he wanted to see the second master in Zhao Ritian's body clearly. Ling Xiao was very curious about the second master. However, he did not expect the second master to know that he wanted to achieve sanctification with his physical body. He even knew about the secret skill of karma. This was not simple. I'm not very clear about the second master's background. However, what he said is definitely correct. You don't have to think too much about it. Zhao Ritian said with a smile. All right, thank you. Ling Xiao said with a nod. He guessed that the second master was the one who told Zhao Ritian about the Buddhist treasures in the 8 treasures lotus pond of merit. Otherwise, he would not know so much about the golden body of the Buddha. The second master had followed Zhao Ritian from the god of war realm, all the way to the realm of the gods. He should be an almighty in the realm of the gods. Could it be related to the great battle 1,000,000 years ago? 1,000,000 years ago, the Scarlet Dragon god of war, and the others fell into the god of war realm, because of that great battle. The second master must have entered the god of war realm at that time. Chapter 1973. Not long after, Master Wine and Xiaoya walked out of the secret chamber together. Master Wine's face was full of smiles. His old face seemed to have become much younger. Xiaoya's eyes were still filled with tears, but her face was filled with happiness. My 2 friends, you have helped me find Xiaoya. I won't be polite with you. If you need my help in the future, I will do my best to help you. Master Jiu looked at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian seriously, then bowed deeply to them. Master Wine had told Master Wine about the dangers of the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue. Xiaoya had also told Master Wine about their experience. Master Wine was naturally very grateful to Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Master Wine, you are too polite. Hundreds of thousands of years have passed, but you have not given up on each other. That is the most important thing. Ling Xiao also sighed with emotion. He was very impressed with Master Wine. For hundreds of thousands of years, his heart had not changed. He had been painstakingly searching for Xiaoya's whereabouts. His sincerity was very moving. Fortunately, Xiaoya had not forgotten Master Wine, and had not been lost in the cycle of reincarnation. In the end, they had achieved a perfect and happy ending. Master Wine, you have to treat Miss Xiaoya better in the future. She has suffered a lot because of you. Those old monks from the Buddhist sect are really despicable. Zhao Ritian said indignantly. Definitely. Sooner or later, I will personally seek revenge from the Buddha of Joy. Master Wine said solemnly. There was a trace of coldness in his eyes. Although he was honest, he was still very angry about what had happened to Xiaoya. The consequences of angering an honest person were very scary. Master Wine had already remembered the Buddha of Joy. Ling Xiao believed that with Master Wine's patience, he would definitely take revenge one day. Master Wine, do you know Li Daozong? It is all thanks to Li Daozong that we were able to escape from death this time. This is his daughter, Princess Pingyang. Li Daozong asked me to tell you to take care of Princess Pingyang in the future. Ling Xiao asked Master Jiu. There was a hint of curiosity in his eyes. Ling Xiao felt that Master Wine and Li Daozong had a very special relationship. Otherwise, Master Wine would not have entrusted his life to him. Li Daozong. He is my sworn brother. I owe him. When Master Jiu heard Ling Xiao ask about Li Daozong, his eyes became sad. He sighed and slowly explained the relationship between him and Li Daozong. Only then did Ling Xiao understand. It turned out that before Li Daozong had become a saint, he had come to the God realm to train. He had met Master Wine, and they had become best friends. They had a very deep relationship. Master Wine had told Li Daozong about Little Yu before, and Li Daozong remembered it. However, because of some things, Li Daozong left without saying goodbye, and returned to the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue World. He became the emperor of the Great Tang Empire, and Grandmaster Wine lost contact with Li Daozong. Master Wine did not expect Li Daozong to be in the 8 treasures Lotus Merit Pool and save Xiaoya, Ling Xiao, and the others at the most critical moment. Devil Spirit Primogenitor, Tank Garuda, they've gone too far. It's fine if nothing happened to my big brother, but if my big brother, I will fight them to the death. Master Jiu's eyes flashed with blood-red murderous intent as he spoke resolutely. It turns out that Master Wine and Li Daozong have such a relationship. No wonder he risked his life to save us. However, how did he know that we're your people? Ling Xiao nodded his head with some emotion. It might be because of the string of Tiangang Buddhist beads. This string of Tiangang Buddhist beads was given to me by Li Daozong. I used the Tiangang Buddhist beads to send you into the 8 treasures Lotus Pond of Virtue. Naturally, he would know. Master Jiu said slowly. A string of 36 glittering Buddhist beads appeared in his hand. A look of longing appeared in his eyes. I see. Master Wine, don't worry. His Majesty Li Daozong is blessed. He should be able to escape. Ling Xiao comforted him. I believe so too. Master Jiu nodded. His gaze fell on the little princess, and his gaze became extremely gentle. Little Pingyang, I'm your father's good brother. Don't worry. Xiaoya and I will take good care of you in the future. Master Wine said gently as he stretched out his arms toward the little princess. The little princess was a little hesitant. She tilted her head and blinked her clear and pure eyes as she looked at Master Wine and asked, Are you He Yuanjun? I've heard my father talk about you. Yuanjun Daozong, your loyalty is like gold. He said that you will definitely treat me well. After the little princess finished speaking, she timidly stretched out her little hand, and slowly went into Master Wine's embrace. Master Wine's body trembled as tears flowed silently from his eyes. Yuanjun Daozong, your loyalty is like gold. Big brother, you must live. Master Wine's voice was a little hoarse. He hugged the little princess tightly in his arms as tears streamed down his face. When Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian saw this scene, their hearts were filled with emotions. In the divine world, they were used to deceiving each other and scheming against each other. Now that they were witnessing such a pure brotherly bond, they were moved beyond words. Money is easy to get, but brothers are hard to come by. Ling Xiao also sighed softly. Ling Xiao, what do you think of me? Why don't you acknowledge me as your big brother, and I'll take care of you in the future? Zhao Ritian suddenly came up and chuckled at Ling Xiao. You want to be my big brother? Forget it. You can't beat me every time. You're more suitable to be my little brother. Zhao Ritian glanced at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao, just you wait. One day, I'll defeat you. Zhao Ritian was furious as he glared at Ling Xiao. We'll talk about it after you defeat me, Ling Xiao said with a smile. Master Wine calmed himself down and looked at Ling Xiao. Little friend, you've been in the 8-treasure lotus pond of virtue for more than half a year. Saintess Jinsei from the Taisheng Palace has already left. She even took the little monk Huineng with her. She told me to tell you that there's an emergency in the sect, and that we'll meet again if fate allows it. Jinsei has already left? Oh well, we'll meet again one day. When Ling Xiao heard Master Jiu's words, a hint of sadness flashed across his eyes as he nodded slowly. Jinsei's current state made Ling Xiao's heart ache the most. The person he loved the most was right in front of him, but unfortunately, she no longer remembered him. Chapter 1974. Master Wine, if that's the case, we should leave. You have to be careful. Xiao Yu is with you. I'm sure the joyful Buddha will find out about this sooner or later. He won't let this matter rest. Ling Xiao looked at Master Wine and said seriously. The joyful Buddha was the sect leader of the blissful sect. He had a high status in the Buddhist sect and was a senior king sage. He would be able to guess that Xiao Yu was with Master Wine. When that happened, it was doubtful whether Mount Pill Talisman could withstand the pressure from the Buddhist sect. I know. If that's the case, I won't keep you any longer. Let's send you out of Mount Pill Talisman. You have killed one of Xiao Hong's sage avatars in the alchemy library. I'm afraid he won't let this matter rest. Master Wine said slowly. All right, thank you for your trouble. Ling Xiao did not decline. He could feel Xiao Hong's malice. It was a good thing that Master Wine was sending them out. Master Jiu put the little princess and Xiao Yu into his miniature world. Then, he waved his sleeve and a blazing light shone. There was a clear sound in the air, and a tunnel appeared in the air. Let's go. Master Jiu waved his sleeves and swept Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian up before entering the void tunnel. Rumble. The void trembled violently. The surroundings were filled with multicolored void turbulence. Chaotic mist filled the air and flowed rapidly. It looked extremely mysterious. Master Wine knew that Ling Xiao wanted to return to the War God Temple in the Shangqing Celestial Domain. Hence, he decided to send him there personally. After all, the Grand Pure Celestial Domain and the Shangqing Celestial Domain were hundreds of millions of miles apart. If Ling Xiao went there alone, even if he used the teleportation formation, it would take him a few months. Master Wine's cultivation was unfathomable. He had reached the peak of the Supreme Sage realm. He used the Great Void teleportation skill to travel through the void. It would not take long for him to return to the Shangqing Celestial Domain. Rumble. Suddenly, two extremely terrifying auras appeared in the spatial turbulence, blocking Master Jiu's path. He Yuanjun, hand over Long Outyan. An incomparably cold voice rang out, carrying an unquestionable determination. It was an old man in a black robe. He looked extremely skinny, and his face was sinister. His eyes flickered with a cold light as he stared at Master Jiu like a poisonous snake. Beside the black-robed old man was a young man in white. He had delicate features, red lips, and white teeth, but his eyes were deep and ancient, as if he could see through everything. He radiated with an extremely mysterious aura. Xiao Hong? And Ancestor Yuan Ling. When Master Jiu saw the two people in front of him, his eyes flashed, and his expression became serious. The reason why he had chosen to personally escort Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian was because he was afraid that Xiao Hong would cause trouble for them. Hence, he was not surprised by Xiao Hong's appearance. However, the white-clothed young man beside Xiao Hong made Master Wine's expression turn extremely serious. Old Ancestor Yuan Ling was one of the strongest old ancestors of Mount Pill Talisman, a Saint King super expert. If it was just Xiao Hong, Master Wine would naturally not take him seriously. However, the appearance of Ancestor Yuan Ling made Master Wine feel that things had become a little tricky. He Yuanjun hand over Long Outian. His accomplice, Ji Feishuan, killed many disciples and elders of Mount Pill Talisman. I need him to tell me where Ji Feishuan is. Ancestor Yuan Ling looked indifferently at Master Wine. His expression was very calm. Long Outian? I'm afraid you're mistaken, old ancestor. The two of them are Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, the genius experts of this alchemy talisman ceremony. I have some connections with them, so I escorted them away. As for Ji Feishuan, wasn't she beaten into the demon burial abyss by old ancestor? Master Wine smiled faintly. He Yuanjun, you still dare to deceive old ancestor at this time? Could it be that you want to betray Mount Pill Talisman? Zhao Ritian is Long Outian. Apart from Temple Master Long of War God Temple, who else can wield the flipping sky seal? I advise you to be honest. Otherwise, it won't do you any good if you anger old ancestor. Xiao Hong smiled coldly with a trace of cold killing intent in his eyes. Xiao Hong had indeed guessed Ling Xiao's true identity long ago. In addition, Ling Xiao had destroyed one of his saint's avatars in the alchemy book pavilion, which made him furious and gave birth to endless killing intent towards Ling Xiao. Therefore, he had been monitoring Master Wine's every move, and even told Ancestor Yuan Ling about it. If Ancestor Yuan Ling wanted to get Zhou Tian's life and death mirror, he had to find out Ji Feishuan's whereabouts. Therefore, capturing Ling Xiao was a very good way. After Master Wine left Mount Pill Talisman, Xiao Hong and Ancestor Yuan Ling had already followed him. Ancestor Yuan Ling? I didn't expect you to be so unscrupulous for Zhou Tian's life and death mirror. If you want an extreme Dao Emperor weapon, just say so. Why do you have to be so dignified? With such a shameless old thing like you, Mount Pill Talisman will be destroyed sooner or later. Ling Xiao stared at Xiao Hong and Ancestor Yuan Ling and smiled coldly. Seeing Xiao Hong and Ancestor Yuan Ling appear, Ling Xiao knew that the two of them must have come for him. Old thing, Ji Feishuan has already been beaten down into the demon burial abyss by you. And you still have the face to capture Ling Xiao? How despicable and shameless. Come, your grandfather Zhao Ritian is here. I'd like to see how you're going to capture us. Zhao Ritian said with a proud smile. At this moment, they were not in the 8 treasures lotus pond of merits and virtues. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had both returned to their original bodies. Zhao Ritian's lost cultivation had also recovered. With the Yen Emperor Cauldron in hand, Zhao Ritian had enough confidence to be arrogant even in the face of a Saint King. My two little friends, Xiao Hong is not worth mentioning, but Ancestor Yuan Ling is sinister and vicious. Since he's coming for you this time, I'm sure he won't let this go easily. I'll stop them later, and the two of you can find a chance to escape. However, I won't be able to escort you after this. Master Wine suddenly transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Master Wine, since Mount Pill Talisman is heartless and unrighteous, you might as well leave Mount Pill Talisman. Anyway, Lady Xiao Yu has already been found. Since Ancestor Yuan Ling is so reckless, let us teach him a good lesson. Zhao Ritian instigated, as if he wanted to see the world in chaos. Teach Ancestor Yuan Ling a lesson? You're too naive. I know you have an extreme Dao Emperor weapon, but keep it well and don't expose it. Otherwise, you'll be the next Ji Feishuan, and there'll be no place for you in the divine world. Moreover, by then the Buddhist sect will be like a cat that smelled blood, and use all their strength to hunt you down. Master Wine said to Zhao Ritian with a bitter smile. Chapter 1975. In the divine world, only the 12 immortal sacred grounds and those hidden monarch clans possessed extreme Dao Emperor armaments. It wasn't because other people didn't have the opportunity to obtain an extreme Dao Emperor armament. It was because even if they obtained one, they wouldn't have the strength to protect it. Take Ji Feishuan for example. If she was from the 12 immortal sacred grounds, Even if she had an extreme Tao Emperor weapon, there would not be so many experts chasing after her. It was because she came from the divine nation of Great Zhou Tian. Even if the Zhou Tian's life and death mirror was a treasure passed down by her ancestors, it was only her original sin. If Zhao Ritian's Emperor Yan Cauldron was exposed, he would be hunted down by countless experts like Ji Feishuan. There would be no place for him in the divine world. He Yuanjun, as long as you hand them over, you will still be the supreme elder of Pill Talisman Mountain. Otherwise, don't blame me for disregarding our old friendship. Ancestor Yuanling looked indifferent as he looked at Master Jiao. Ancestor, why are you talking so much nonsense with them? I think he Yuanjun is determined to betray Pill Talisman Mountain. Why don't we just kill him and get rid of all future troubles? Xiao Hong sneered as his eyes were filled with a sinister look. Ancestor, forgive me for not being able to comply. I must save the two of them. Let me overestimate myself and have a taste of Ancestor's divine powers. Master Jiao's eyes were filled with a solemn look as he spoke to Ancestor Yuanling slowly. Rumble. Blazing rays of light bloomed in the void as Master Jiao stood in the air. His body was surrounded by dazzling runes as if they had formed a rune boundary, causing his aura to become even more unfathomable. Light flashed in his palm, and an ancient sacred sword appeared. It was flowing with purple light and looked crystal clear, mysterious and unfathomable. The sword was called Original Sin. With the sword in his hand, Master Jiao's aura instantly became incomparably sharp. He was like an unsheathed divine sword, overflowing with cold light. Peak of the great sage realm. He Yuanjun, you are the most talented person I have seen in all these years. If you were given more time, you might be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with me. Unfortunately, since you've chosen to betray Pill Talisman Mountain, then I can only kill you. Ancestor Yuanling's eyes flashed, revealing a look of astonishment. He sighed softly and said slowly, boom. Elder Yuanling's robe was whiter than snow, and he looked otherworldly. He took a step forward lightly, and suddenly, vast saintly might surged from all directions. A vast starry sky seemed to appear in the void turbulence, and many stars rotated, shrouding Master Wine, Ling Xiao, and Zhao Ritian. Let's fight! A strong fighting spirit appeared in Master Wine's eyes, and the aura around him was extremely sharp. The Original Sin sword gave off a blazing sword light, and burst out with a series of sword cries. Then it pierced through the air toward Ancestor Yuanling. The sword light was extremely blazing, containing an extremely powerful destructive force, as if it was going to annihilate all life. The sword light illuminated Ancestor Yuanling's face. He looked very calm, and his expression was indifferent. There was a little divine light in his eyes. When the Original Sin sword was in front of him, Ancestor Yuanling flicked his two jade-like fingers on the Original Sin sword. Clang! An incomparably crisp sound rang out. The Original Sin sword trembled violently, and the brilliant sword light shattered like a mirror. Then, Master Wine felt an incomparably terrifying divine power. He trembled all over, and could not help but fly back. Vast saintly might gushed out like a volcanic eruption. With every step Ancestor Yuanling took, it was as if the sky was falling and the earth was cracking, causing people to tremble uncontrollably. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian felt their hearts palpitate, and their bodies trembled. They were like small boats in the sea, about to be drowned by a storm at any time. Yuanjun, surrender. You are no match for me. Patriarch Yuanling said calmly. His voice was like the thunder from the ninth heaven, shaking the surrounding void turbulence and dispersing it. Surrender without a fight? This is just the beginning. Master Wine smiled faintly, and his eyes became extremely sharp in an instant. Boom. He held the Original Sin sword, and mysterious bubbles seemed to appear around him. Each bubble was like a small world, and they all gathered on the Original Sin sword. There was a strange scene of countless worlds opening up. Original Sin splitting heaven. Master Wine shouted softly. In an instant, an incomparably blazing sword light flew toward Ancestor Yuanling. The light was extremely brilliant, like a flying immortal. Ancestor Yuanling's eyes also showed a hint of surprise. The power of Master Wine's sword had completely exceeded the limit of a supreme saint, and even made him feel a little threatened. It seems that I have really underestimated you. The look in Ancestor Yuanling's eyes became slightly serious. The aura around him surged, and with a wave of his sleeve, he immediately displayed the heaven and earth in the sleeve. The vast power of space bloomed, as if to bury everything. The original Sin sword was instantly enveloped by Ancestor Yuanling's sleeve. The sword light rose fiercely, constantly breaking the space, but was buried by layers of space. Between new life and destruction, a terrifying divine light storm was set off. Whoosh! Master Wine instantly rose to the sky. His blood and chi were boiling, and his originally old body suddenly became young. His flesh was crystal clear like jade, and his face was extraordinarily handsome. He looked like an elegant young master in a chaotic world. He stepped on the void, and was extraordinary. The sword will around him was terrifying to the extreme, and under the activation of the original Sin sword, there was a power fluctuation that could almost destroy the world. It split into billions of sword light in the void, and stabbed toward the vital parts of Ancestor Yuanling's body. Boom! 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 A fierce battle instantly broke out between Ancestor Yuanling and Master Wine. Whoosh! A cold light flashed in Xiaohong's eyes. Like a black lightning bolt, he crossed the void and directly blocked Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Want to escape? You'd better surrender obediently. Xiaohong sneered, and the killing intent in his eyes seemed to be substantial. The saint avatar that he had painstakingly condensed was destroyed by Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, and this filled his heart with endless hatred and killing intent. At this moment, when he saw Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, his eyes were exceptionally red. There was a black flame rising in his palm. He suddenly pulled with both hands, and directly formed a large black net, enveloping Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. The black flame contained a bone-chilling coldness. As soon as it appeared in the void, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian could not help but shiver, as if they were about to be frozen. This is bone-corroding cold fire? Chapter 1976. The bone-corroding cold flame was the treasure that Ling Xiao had obtained from winning the alchemy conference. It was the origin source flame, and was extremely mysterious. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had not expected that Xiaohong would have the bone-corroding cold flame. The bone-corroding cold flame formed a huge black net that covered the sky and the earth. The bone-chilling coldness made Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian feel as though they were about to be frozen. Get lost! A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he shouted coldly. Then a small black seal flew out from his palm. The small black seal was the Flipping Sky Seal. Since his identity had been exposed, there was no need to hide it anymore. The Flipping Sky Seal expanded in the void like an immortal black sacred mountain. It was ancient and heavy, and it collided with the huge black net in the void. Rumble! The huge black net instantly covered the Flipping Sky Seal. Ling Xiao could feel that the bone-corroding cold flame wanted to devour the power of the Flipping Sky Seal. It even wanted to follow the Flipping Sky Seal and head towards him. However, the Flipping Sky Seal was under the control of the Lightning Spirit King. In an instant, blazing lightning burst out like a roaring lightning dragon. It contained an overbearing destructive power. In an instant, it collided with the bone-corroding cold flame, and both of them were annihilated. After the Flipping Sky Seal broke the huge black net, it did not lose its momentum. An ancient and majestic aura gushed out and suppressed Xiaohong. It is indeed the Flipping Sky Seal. Long Outyan, you have destroyed my saint avatar. Take the Flipping Sky Seal and pay for it. When Xiaohong saw the Flipping Sky Seal, his body trembled. His eyes were filled with greed. Rumble! There was a dark golden light shining in his palm. In an instant, it turned into a dark golden whip. It traversed the void and coiled around the Flipping Sky Seal like a long snake. The Flipping Sky Seal was a top-notch treasure that was second only to the legendary Supreme Emperor weapon. If Xiaohong could obtain the Flipping Sky Seal, his strength would increase tremendously. You want the Flipping Sky Seal? I'm afraid you won't be able to get it. Ling Xiao sneered. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as he channeled all his saint energy into the Flipping Sky Seal. In an instant, the aura of the Flipping Sky Seal soared. It buzzed and trembled. When it collided with the dark golden whip, dazzling sparks burst out. Even a few runes on the dark golden whip were broken. It was slightly damaged. Damn it, my golden snake whip. A pained expression appeared on Xiao Hong's face as he hurriedly withdrew the dark golden whip. Ling Xiao, why don't we do something big and kill a saint? Do you dare? Zhao Ritian's eyes flashed with cold killing intent as he transmitted his voice to Ling Xiao. Slaughter a saint? That's exactly what I wanted. But you can't use your Yen Emperor Cauldron. Ling Xiao sneered. He's just a sage. Even if he doesn't have the Yen Emperor Cauldron, he will still die. My Vairocana Golden Body and your Karma Buddha Golden Body can both unleash the battle prowess of a sage. Together with your flipping sky seal. As long as we plan well, we can definitely kill Xiao Hong in one fell swoop. Zhao Ritian said coldly. Alright. Since that's the case, let's send him on his way. Ling Zhao's eyes were dark as boundless killing intent surged in his heart. So what if he's a sage? Ling Xiao was destined to grow into an invincible expert. The so-called sage was just a stepping stone. His path to supremacy would start from today, when he slaughtered a sage. Little bastard, you're just a sage to be. How long can you use the flipping sky seal? Since you're so reckless, don't blame me for not going easy on you. Xiao Hong said coldly. The more terrifying the flipping sky seal was, the greater the greed in his heart burned. At that moment, he was even blinded by greed. He had to snatch the flipping sky seal, and did not notice Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's little tricks. Rumble. Xiao Hong leaped into the sky and slammed his palm down. His palm print was unparalleled and ferocious. It slammed directly on the flipping sky seal. The flipping sky seal emitted a dazzling light and a buzzing sound as it was sent flying. Xiao Hong took the opportunity to grab Ling Zhao's head. In his opinion, Ling Zhao's strength was above the flipping sky seal. Without the flipping sky seal, Ling Xiao would not be a match for him. As long as he could capture Ling Xiao, the flipping sky seal would be his. Old man, come over here. Zhao Ritian sneered. Not only did he not dodge, but he also charged toward Xiao Hong. He then reached out to grab one of Xiao Hong's legs. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had a tacit understanding. Both of their arms were like horned dragons. Their vital energy and blood surged as they grabbed at Xiao Hong's arm. You're courting death. Xiao Hong sneered. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were courting death by getting close to a sage. After all, a sage was invulnerable. They were connected to the Tao of heaven and earth, and had gathered the origin energy around them. Therefore, he attacked even more fiercely. At the same time, he reached out another hand and grabbed at Zhao Ritian's head. His fingers were like the claws of an eagle. They shone with a sharp cold light. It was as if even the toughest metal would be pierced by his claws. Old man, you'd better die obediently. Zhao Ritian sneered. In an instant, blazing golden light gushed out from his body. It was as if a dazzling sun had risen in the sky. His aura skyrocketed. The golden divine light was boiling. His entire body seemed to be cast in gold. In an instant, he exuded a vast and unparalleled sage aura. What? Xiao Hong's face changed drastically. His eyes were filled with disbelief. In his perception, Zhao Ritian seemed to have attained the Tao from a sage to be to a sage in an instant. The sage aura around him was vast and surging. Endless origin energy lingered around him. It was holy and mysterious. It made Xiao Hong feel an intense sense of danger. However, it was too late for him to dodge. Bang! Zhao Ritian grabbed one of Xiao Hong's legs. His arms coiled around Xiao Hong like a divine dragon, binding Xiao Hong tightly. At the same time, something that made Xiao Hong even more terrified happened. Ling Xiao, who was in front of him, also erupted with a vast sage aura. The power of the Karma Buddha Golden Body was unleashed. Ling Xiao felt that his body was filled with endless power. He grabbed one of Xiao Hong's arms. Kata! The flipping sky seal fell from the sky like an ancient divine mountain. It was ancient and vast. It was as if it was going to crush all living things into dust. Faced with such a sudden change, Xiao Hong, who was a veteran sage, was unable to react in time. Kill! Kill! Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian shouted at the same time. The killing intent around them surged like the sea. At the same time, they unleashed the strongest power of their golden bodies. Puff! Puff! Two streaks of bloody light filled the void. One of Xiao Hong's arms and one of his legs were forcefully pulled off by Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Chapter 1977. Ah! Xiao Hong let out an incomparably tragic cry. He could not figure out how Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, who were merely half-saints, could suddenly erupt with the combat strength of a saint. Rumble! Divine light blazed in the void. The flipping sky seal carried a vast aura and suppressed Xiao Hong. The surrounding void trembled violently, and the endless turbulence in the void was annihilated. Open! Xiao Hong's scalp went numb as he felt a fatal killing intent from the flipping sky seal. He could not help but roar in anger. Sacred power intertwined around his body, and he spat out a small purple gold shield. It spun in the void and collided with the flipping sky seal. Although the flipping sky seal was not an ultimate emperor weapon, it was more famous than many ultimate emperor weapons. After all, the Scarlet Dragon War God had used the flipping sky seal to kill many sages a million years ago. It was said that the flipping sky seal was originally a golden ancient seal. The reason why it had turned black was that it had been watered by countless sages' blood. Moreover, it was filled with a murderous aura and became a ferocious treasure. Now Ling Xiao was activating the flipping sky seal with the power of a sage. He directly activated the extreme emperor aura within it. Endless divine light gushed out as if it could destroy everything. Crack! The flipping sky seal collided with the small purple gold shield, and the blazing runes exploded. A crisp sound was heard, and a crack appeared on the small purple gold shield. In the next moment it exploded. The flipping sky seal did not lose its momentum. It was like a star in the 9 heavens and violently slammed into Xiao Hong's body. Poof! Xiao Hong's body exploded into a bloody mist in the void. Kill! Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other. Their eyes were burning with killing intent as they charged toward Xiao Hong. As the saying went, take advantage of the situation. Although Xiao Hong had been blasted into a bloody mist by the flipping sky seal, with the strong vitality of a sage, this level of injury was far from fatal. Boom! Sure enough, the blood mist in the void quickly condensed and reformed into a human form. Xiao Hong's primordial spirit was extremely ferocious, filled with endless hatred and murderous intent. He had never thought that he would suffer such a huge loss in the hands of Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. This made him completely crazy. He wanted to kill Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian at all costs. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold and his expression was heavy. He waved his hand and a golden vortex appeared. It contained a vast amount of devouring power. Ling Xiao immediately activated the heaven-devouring secret skill. Spots of golden light circled around his body, like a river of stars in the sky. He directly snatched a portion of Xiao Hong's flesh from the void, and began to devour it. Xiao Hong was a saint. His holy body had been condensed for countless years. It was as pure as a holy elixir. It contained an extremely vast and boundless energy. After Ling Xiao swallowed it, it was as if he had eaten a great tonic. His cultivation also began to skyrocket. When Ling Xiao's cultivation broke through to the 6th revolution half-saint realm, all the energy that he had accumulated previously had been used up. He originally thought that it would take a long time for him to continue to advance. However, a lump of Xiao Hong's flesh and blood had stabilized Ling Xiao's cultivation. It even began to climb towards the 7th revolution half-saint realm. This is good stuff. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. He no longer held back. The golden vortex immediately expanded and covered half the sky. It began to wantonly plunder the essence of Xiao Hong's flesh and blood from the void. Although Zhao Ritian did not choose to devour Xiao Hong's flesh and blood essence, a pure golden flame rose from his body. It was like a sun in the sky, burning the blood mist in the void. He had chosen to consume Xiao Hong's flesh and blood essence to weaken Xiao Hong's strength as much as possible. All of you deserve to die. Xiao Hong was so angry that he shouted. His eyes were filled with killing intent. This was the essence of his strength that he had condensed for countless years. Every drop of his flesh and blood was incomparably precious. In just a short period of time, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had consumed almost half of it. This made Xiao Hong's heart ache. You're the one who deserves to die. Ling Xiao sneered. The flipping sky seal came across the sky again. after being stained with Xiao Hong's flesh and blood. It was as if the extreme ferocious aura had been activated. It emitted a monstrous killing intent. It was like an ancient weapon that had just been awakened, suppressing Xiao Hong. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian also charged towards Xiao Hong. I can't accept this, Xiao Hong roared angrily. The flames in his eyes seemed to be burning. However, in the face of the terrifying flipping sky seal, he could only dodge pathetically. It seemed that he was in imminent danger. When Ancestor Yuan Ling, who was fighting Master Wine, saw this scene, he could not help but reveal a look of shock. He did not expect Xiao Hong to be forced to such an extent by Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. This is the golden body of Buddhism. Ancestor Yuan Ling's indifferent face revealed a look of shock for the first time. His eyes also became a little fiery. How dare you? Ancestor Yuan Ling roared angrily. Like a thunderclap, it shook the firmament. A huge hand covered the sky and earth, grabbing towards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Ancestor Yuan Ling, your opponent is me. Master Jiu had long noticed Ancestor Yuan Ling's actions and Xiao Hong's predicament. Although he was extremely shocked that Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian could push Xiao Hong to such an extent, it was only a thought that flashed through his mind. He charged towards Ancestor Yuan Ling. No matter what trump cards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had, they were definitely no match for Ancestor Yuan Ling's swoosh. The original Sin sword was crystal clear and radiant. It bloomed a blazing glow in the void turbulence. The sword light contained an extraordinary fluctuation, as if it could cut off all sins and break all karma. It was incomparably mysterious. The original Sin sword was a supreme holy treasure that Master Jiu had obtained from an ancient relic. It could cut off all karma and was a strong threat to Sage Kings. Therefore, even Ancestor Yuan Ling did not dare to be careless in the face of the original Sin sword. He Yuanjun, since you are determined to betray Pill Talisman Mountain, today I will clean up the sect. Ancestor Yuan Ling said coldly. In his palm, 5-colored divine light filled the air. An ancient stone mirror appeared, containing the incomparably mysterious power of the 5 elements. In an instant, it shot towards Master Jiu. A 5-colored divine light pierced through the void at an extremely fast speed. In an instant, it broke through the layers of sword radiance and shot onto the original Sin sword, bursting out a crisp sound. 5 elements sword heart mirror? Master Jiu said with some surprise. His eyes also became a little dignified. The 5 elements sword heart mirror was the natal treasure that Ancestor Yuan Ling had refined for countless years. It could erupt with invisible sword chi. It was shapeless and without substance, but it had the power to pierce and destroy everything. Using the 5 elements sword heart mirror meant that Ancestor Yuan Ling had begun to attack with all his might. Chapter 1978. Is this the power of a Sage King? Master Jiu softly muttered to himself. His gaze became incomparably deep. Not only was there no fear, but it also became even more ferocious. Boom. Master Jiu exuded an extremely pure sword essence, and the original Sin sword was also trembling violently, as if it had sensed its master's strong fighting spirit, and began to become extremely excited. For so many years, Master Jiu had rarely used the original Sin sword, and had been nurturing it in his primordial spirit. Even when he fought with others, he had not used it. However, he was like a peerless swordsman. When he did not use his sword, he was calm and collected, but when he used his sword, it was earth-shattering, with a peerless sharpness that could split heaven and earth and destroy stars. Kill. Under great pressure from Ancestor Yuan Ling, Master Jiu took the lead. The original Sin sword rose into the sky, divided into hundreds of millions of sword lights, and shot towards Ancestor Yuan Ling's vital points. Go. Ancestor Yuan Ling said indifferently. The 5 elements sword heart mirror floated above his head, condensing streaks of blazing invisible sword chi, and shot towards Master Jiu at an extremely fast speed. Clang, clang, clang. The void turbulence became even more chaotic, and the sword chi intertwined, erupting with terrifying clanging sounds. It was as if 2 peerless swordsmen were fighting. The vast and terrifying sword essence was boiling like the sea, enveloping all directions. Even Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian could feel the terrifying power fluctuations. Xiao Hong, capture them alive. Ancestor Yuan Ling said coldly, as he controlled the 5 elements sword heart mirror to fight Master Jiu. Then he flicked his finger, and a golden blood bead flew toward Xiao Hong. At the same time, a palm print traversed the endless void, and slapped towards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. It was like a 5-fingered mountain, enveloping the universe in all directions, and blocking all possible escape routes for Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. The terrifying power made them feel incomparable despair. Don't worry, Ancestor. They can't run away. The golden blood bead instantly merged into Xiao Hong's body, causing his aura to soar, and almost instantly returned to his peak. Xiao Hong sneered, and pounced towards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. This shameless old bastard, I must kill him. Zhao Ritian said angrily. Ancestor Yuan Ling had disregarded his status and personally attacked him and Ling Xiao. This made Zhao Ritian extremely angry. Ancestor Yuan Ling, he indeed deserves to die. Ling Xiao also said coldly. Regardless of whether it was Ancestor Yuan Ling who had once knocked Ji Feishuan down into the Devil Burial Abyss, or appeared here to kill them, it all made Ling Xiao want to kill him. Rumble. In the face of the overwhelming palm print, Ling Xiao exerted all his strength to activate the flipping sky seal. He directly stimulated the Extreme Emperor's aura within it. The flipping sky seal soared into the sky like an immemorial sacred mountain. Its aura was extremely terrifying. Crack. When the flipping sky seal and Ancestor Yuan Ling's palm print collided, there was a sudden burst of aura, and the divine light was blazing like a storm, sweeping in all directions. The flipping sky seal trembled violently, and was directly slapped away by Ancestor Yuan Ling. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian could not help but tremble. As if they had been hit by the supreme heavenly might, they suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and their aura became extremely weak. Although they could use the golden body of Buddhism to erupt the battle strength of a sage, in the face of a powerful sage king, even with the flipping sky seal in hand, they were still too weak. 2 little bastards, when I capture you alive, I will definitely let you have a taste of my means. By then you will definitely understand what it means to beg for death. Xiao Hong's face was extremely ferocious. When he saw Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian being slapped away by Ancestor Yuan Ling, he immediately disappeared from where he was. The next moment he appeared behind Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. His hands were like eagle claws, containing a sharp light that could penetrate everything, and he directly grabbed towards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's heads. He hated Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian to the core, so he did not show any mercy. If he had really caught hold of them, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's brains would have burst open in an instant. Even their primordial spirits would have been severely damaged. Whoosh! Right at this moment, a blazing and monstrous sword light shot toward Xiao Hong. Its speed swift to the extreme. Yuanjun, how dare you! Ancestor Yuan Ling roared angrily. Master Wine was holding the original Sin Sword, and his eyes were extremely sharp. Like a bright rainbow light, it pierced through the void. The original Sin Sword exuded a vast killing intent, and it slashed toward Xiao Hong. Master Wine, who was fighting with Ancestor Yuan Ling, turned into an illusory shadow and slowly dissipated. It turned out that Master Wine had used some unknown means to deceive Ancestor Yuan Ling's perception. He used the golden cicada shell shedding technique to kill Xiao Hong. Master Wine was originally 1 realm higher than Xiao Hong. At this moment, he was holding the original Sin Sword and attacking with all his strength. Xiao Hong did not have time to react at all, and his heart was directly pierced by Master Wine's sword. Poof! The void was filled with bloody light, and the original Sin Sword erupted with an extremely terrifying destructive power. Xiao Hong's face was filled with shock and anger, and even a trace of unconcealable fear. His body directly exploded in the void. Ancestor, save me! Xiao Hong's primordial spirit emerged from the void, looking very weak. His face was filled with incomparable hatred and fear, and he instantly fled in the direction of Ancestor Yuan Ling. You guys go quickly. I'll stop Ancestor Yuan Ling. Master Wine did not care about Xiao Hong's primordial spirit, but turned back to quickly say to Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, and then turned again to pounce on Ancestor Yuan Ling. One could imagine that Ancestor Yuanling was deceived by Master Wine. At this moment, he must be filled with endless anger. Master Wine was about to face an even more terrifying Ancestor Yuanling, and the pressure must be immense. Okay. Master Wine, be careful. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other and nodded. Both of them were extremely decisive. They knew that if they continued to stay here, not only would they not be able to help Master Wine, but they would also become a burden. Only when the two of them left here could Master Wine be at ease and find a chance to escape. In the face of the extremely violent Ancestor Yuanling, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian felt their scalps tingle. They did not dare to delay for a moment, and instantly fled into the void turbulence in the distance. Both of you die. Ancestor Yuanling's angry voice exploded in the void, like the 9 heavens' divine thunder, containing endless heavenly power. Rumble. Chapter 1979. This old thing has gone berserk. Let's go. Zhao Ritian's expression changed when he sensed the terrifying sword light. Without hesitation, he activated the Yen Emperor Cauldron and shrouded the both of them. The mysterious flame was sparkling and resplendent, forming a sparkling and translucent barrier. When the blazing sword light hit the barrier, it exploded in an instant, causing the barrier to tremble violently, and ripples appeared on its surface. Fortunately, the Yen Emperor Cauldron was a supreme emperor weapon. In the end, it blocked the endless sword light from the 5 elements sword heart mirror. Whoosh! Whoosh! Taking advantage of the violent force, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian moved even faster. Like 2 dazzling lightning bolts, they disappeared into the endless void turbulence in an instant. Rumble! Behind them, Master Wine and Ancestor Yuanling once again broke out into a terrifying battle. Crack! In the undulating ancient mountain range, the void suddenly shattered. 2 dazzling lights rushed out from the void, and turned into 2 young figures. They were Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. However, at this moment, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were in a sorry state. Although they had escaped from Ancestor Yuanling's pursuit, they had been floating in the void turbulence for an unknown period of time. Both of them had suffered serious injuries. We're finally out. Zhao Ritian took a deep breath. His face was full of joy after surviving a disaster. I hope Master Wine is safe. If anything happens to him, I'll kill my way up to Pill Talisman Mountain and take Ancestor Yuanling's head to avenge him. Ling Xiao said slowly, with a trace of worry in his eyes. Although he was full of confidence in Master Wine, Ancestor Yuanling's strength was too terrifying. He was a realm higher than Master Wine. Ling Xiao had no way to determine the outcome of the battle. Don't worry. Master Wine's combat strength is extraordinary. Even if he is no match for Ancestor Yuanling, he should have no problem escaping. Now the most important thing is to find out where we are. Zhao Ritian looked around and said. This was a desolate mountain range. The mountains were undulating and there was no end in sight. Each mountain was tens of thousands of feet high and covered with lush trees, revealing an ancient aura. The heaven and earth energy here is very dense. It should still be in the upper 3 heavens. I just don't know which heavens it is. The pores all over Ling Xiao's body opened up, and the majestic energy of heaven and earth surged into his body. It was as ethereal as the clouds, containing extremely pure energy. He felt that the energy between heaven and earth was very dense. He knew that this must be the upper 3 heavens. Hey, there seems to be the sound of fighting over there. Zhao Ritian's eyes flashed as he looked at the mountain range in the distance. Let's go and take a look. Sensing this, Ling Xiao immediately used sky shrouding to conceal his aura. Then he transformed into a streak of light and flew towards the source of the sounds. Rumble. The void trembled violently as the mountains rumbled. Countless towering ancient trees were reduced to dust. It was a golden ancient ape that was over 100 feet tall. Blood chi surged from its body as it beat its chest with its fists. Its eyes were filled with bloodthirsty killing intent. It bared its teeth as it stared at the figure in front of it. There was a trace of unconcealable fear in its eyes. Little monkey, come, let us fight for another 300 rounds. A hearty laughter rang out, shaking the forest in all directions. In front of the golden ancient ape stood a young man with long hair draped behind his head. He was dressed in animal skin and had a heroic figure. His face was extremely resolute, and the blood chi around him was unparalleled. There was even a blood-red cloud on the surface of his skin. His breathing was like thunder, and his aura was extremely shocking. His eyes were bright and resplendent, like the stars in the 9 heavens. At this moment, he was staring at the golden ancient ape in front of him with a strong battle intent. "Human, don't you go too far," the golden ancient ape growled. There was even a trace of grievance and anger on its face. It didn't seem to be in a good state at the moment. The mountains around it had collapsed, and there were many punches and kicks on its body. Most of its golden fur had fallen off, and its face was bruised and swollen. Its aura was weak and feeble. All of this was caused by the man in animal skin in front of it. Speaking of which, the golden ancient ape felt very wronged. It was the overlord of this mountain range. It was a peak expert at the 9th revolution half-saint realm. It was only half a step away from becoming a demonic saint. Its body was extremely tough, and even a 9th revolution half-saint human was no match for it. The golden ancient ape had unintentionally dug out a relic in this mountain. At that time, the man in animal skin was buried in a crystal coffin. The golden ancient ape opened the crystal coffin, and it didn't expect the man in animal skin to come back to life. Then there was an indescribable battle. The golden ancient ape with thick skin and thick flesh was no match for the man in animal skin. It was beaten very miserably. Therefore, when the man in animal skin said that they would fight again, the golden ancient ape didn't hesitate to admit defeat. "Little monkey, your body is not bad. I noticed that you should have the bloodline of a battle saint ape, right? It's a pity that this bloodline is too weak. If you want to become a demonic saint, you still need to work hard." The man in animal skin smiled faintly. His face was handsome, and his skin was as clear as jade. His eyes were clear and bright, and there was a heroic spirit in his words that made people admire him. He didn't kill the golden ancient ape. Instead, he even gave it advice. "It's easy for you to say, but bloodlines are innate. What can I do? However, becoming a demonic saint is only a matter of time for me," the golden ancient ape said with some dissatisfaction. It couldn't see through the cultivation of the man in animal skin in front of it, but his strength was extremely terrifying. It was far superior to it, and it made the golden ancient ape's heart pound. "Well, it's fate that we met. Are you willing to follow me? I can let your bloodline revert to its ancestor. It's not impossible for you to become a real battle saint ape." The man in animal skin smiled faintly. "A real battle saint ape? That's impossible." The golden ancient ape hesitated for a moment, but it still shook its head. The battle saint ape was the leader of the 3 ancient divine monkeys. Legend had it that it contained a battle heart. The more it fought, the braver and stronger it became. It was the favored child of heaven and earth. Its strength was terrifying, and it wasn't inferior to ancient divine beasts like dragons and phoenixes. However, the battle saint ape was too rare. It was probably on the verge of extinction by now. Nothing is impossible. Little monkey, you have to think carefully. You only have one chance. If you lose it, you won't have it again. The man in animal skin smiled faintly. His eyes suddenly narrowed as he stared at a towering ancient tree in the distance. "My 2 friends, since you're here, show yourself. Why do you have to hide?" Chapter 1980. Above the towering ancient tree, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian were hidden in the void. Their bodies were surrounded by an ethereal mist, concealing all of their auras. "He can actually detect us?" Zhao Ritian said in surprise. "This person is not simple. Let's go out and meet him." A strange light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes as he spoke slowly. He could feel that the blood energy of the man in animal skin was extremely vigorous, like a blazing sun. The blood energy around his body condensed into a mist, and his eyes were clear as if he could see through everything. The golden ancient ape was already a 9th revolution half-saint, but it was beaten so obediently by the man in animal skin. Ling Xiao had a feeling that he could not see through the man's strength. Ling Xiao suddenly thought of the mysterious Zhang Luer that he met during the pill talisman ceremony. The aura of the man in animal skin was actually similar to Jiang Luer's. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's bodies flashed and revealed themselves. They flew across the sky and landed in front of the man in animal skin. Since they were already discovered, there was no need to continue hiding. Standing in front of the man in animal skin, Ling Xiao felt a ferocious aura surging towards him. It was as if he was facing an ancient giant beast. The man in animal skin was more than 10 feet tall, a few feet taller than Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. His body was covered in muscles, and a dragon-shaped tattoo could be seen on his bare chest. It looked very lifelike, and the dragon head looked ferocious and terrifying, as if it would come to life at any time. The man in animal skin looked down at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. His eyes were clear and threatening, causing Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian to feel immense pressure. "Who are you?" Zhao Ritian asked. The man in animal skin smiled and said indifferently, "You were the ones who were spying on me. I haven't even asked you about your origins, and you're asking me about it?" "Sir, we were just passing by and noticed the commotion of a battle. That's why we came here to check it out. If we've disturbed you, please forgive us." Ling Xiao cupped his hands and bowed to the man in animal skin. The two of you are not simple. Even I, Zhou Panlong, can't see through you. Since you're here, why don't you fight with me first? That ancient ape is too weak. I hope you won't disappoint me." Zhou Panlong's eyes were filled with surprise. His face was filled with battle intent as he charged towards Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian without hesitation. Rumble! With a simple punch, the muscles all over his body exuded an explosive power. His qi and blood were monstrous, and the fist print whistled through the air. It was like a monstrous wave that struck the sky, and the dense pressure made it hard for people to breathe. "If you want to fight, then let's fight." Ling Xiao's eyes flashed, and he threw a punch at Zhou Panlong as well. He didn't feel any killing intent from Zhou Panlong's body. It was just a strong desire to fight, which immediately aroused Ling Xiao's competitive spirit. To be able to meet someone of the same age who could make even Ling Xiao feel pressured, he couldn't help but fight. The golden fist was extremely vast, as if it could pierce through 3,000 worlds. It was extremely ferocious, and it instantly collided with Zhou Panlong's fist. Kacha! The void trembled violently as if a thunderbolt had exploded. Endless divine light gushed out, and a shockwave swept across the sky. Ling Xiao and Zhou Panlong couldn't help but take a few steps back. "Your physical body is actually so strong? Not bad, not bad." Again. Zhou Panlong wasn't shocked but happy instead. His eyes were burning with passion. Suddenly, an even more terrifying fist print came towards Ling Xiao. At the same time, it enveloped Zhao Ritian, attacking him indiscriminately. Zhou Panlong could see that Ling Xiao's cultivation was only at the 6th revolution half-saint realm. However, his physical body was extremely terrifying, and wasn't much weaker than Zhou Panlong's. Instantly, Zhou Panlong's battle intent became even stronger. "What coiling dragon and coiling tiger? I think you're just a shameless snake. Come on, let your grandpa Zhao Ritian teach you how to be a human." Zhao Ritian was enraged. He felt deeply insulted and disregarded. Zhou Panlong seemed to only treat Ling Xiao as an opponent. The reason why the fist print enveloped him was as if he wanted to take care of him. Boom! Blazing flames gushed out from Zhao Ritian's body like a resplendent sun. The void behind him became slightly distorted due to the burning flames. There were even shadows of mysterious divine beasts that appeared, causing Zhao Ritian's aura to become even more terrifying. He threw a punch towards Zhou Panlong. It was like a huge fireball was falling down, wanting to burn everything into ashes. "Is this the origin of the sun? You're not bad yourself." Zhou Panlong's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. The power of his fist increased, whistling across the sky. Instantly, it collided with the fireball and shattered it into pieces. Streaks of blazing flame spread towards Zhou Panlong, as if they wanted to burn him into ashes. Zhou Panlong's blood and qi rose around him. He was actually fighting against the blazing flames. In the end, he swallowed all the flames into his body. Rumble! Zhou Panlong's physical body was like a blazing furnace. It began to spurt out endless blazing light, making him even more terrifying. Kill! Ling Xiao's eyes were incomparably sharp. He could feel that Zhou Panlong's cultivation was at least at the 9th revolution half-saint. However, he was definitely not a saint yet. Regardless of whether it was Zhou Panlong's physical body, the saint energy in his body, or even the power of his primordial spirit, they had all reached an extreme level. It allowed his attacks to have unpredictable power. Even Ling Xiao felt an immense pressure. Zhou Panlong's physical body was even slightly stronger than his, and his martial path mystique had also reached the acme of perfection. When he attacked, there was the momentum of wind and thunder, and it was extremely powerful. Most importantly, Ling Xiao realized that Zhou Panlong was only using the power of his physical body. He did not use the saint energy or primordial spirit in his body. However, just the power of his physical body alone was enough to make the battle with Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian so intense. Rumble. The void shook violently. Zhou Panlong, Ling Xiao, and Zhao Ritian seemed to have formed 3 blazing storms of divine light. They swept across the void and collided with each other. Every collision was like a volcanic eruption. The sound was like thunder, erupting with extremely terrifying waves of energy. Several mountains in the surroundings were turned into dust under the battle between the 3 of them. The earth shook and countless towering ancient trees were completely shattered. Are these 3 guys still human? The golden ape, who was hiding at the side, was dumbfounded. The battle in front of it made it feel a little incredulous. Chapter 1981. The golden ape was completely terrified. The battle before its eyes could be said to have completely destroyed its confidence, causing it to feel somewhat terrified. The golden ape originally wanted to escape while Zhou Panlong was fighting with Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. However, it held back in the end. It did not know why, but it felt that if it ran away, it might miss out on a great opportunity. There was no sign or reason for this feeling. However, the golden ape decided to listen to its heart and stayed. Rumble. Zhou Panlong, Ling Xiao, and Zhao Ritian fought for a few hundred rounds. The battle was extremely intense, and the momentum was shocking. Whoosh! After Zhou Panlong clashed with Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, he immediately retreated. Then he laughed loudly and said, "Awesome, this is awesome. I never thought that I, Zhou Panlong, would meet 2 peerless geniuses the moment I was born. Stop fighting, stop fighting. Brothers, let's stop here. How about it? If we stop just because you say so, how embarrassing would that be? Come on, Zhou Panlong, fight with your grandfather Zhao Ritian for a few hundred more rounds." Zhao Ritian said unwillingly. However, after this battle, Zhao Ritian also understood that Zhou Panlong was indeed very powerful. Even though he was fighting Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian alone, he was not at a disadvantage at all. Zhao Ritian knew that if he did not use the Flame Emperor Cauldron, he would definitely not be Zhou Panlong's opponent. It is indeed awesome. Brother Zhou's combat strength is extraordinary, and we are very impressed. Let's end this battle here. We'll fight again when we have time. Ling Xiao stopped the unconvinced Zhao Ritian and cupped his fists towards Zhou Panlong with a smile. He could feel Zhou Panlong's goodwill, and Zhou Panlong's carefree and unrestrained temperament had infected him, making him want to befriend Zhou Panlong. Haha. Brothers, you won't blame me for taking the initiative to fight, right? After so many years of self-restraint, my hands were itching to fight. I couldn't help but take action. May I know how to address you 2 brothers? Zhou Panlong descended from the void and said with a hearty laugh. His every move seemed very magnanimous. No worries. I'm Long Outyan, and this is Zhao Ritian. Brother Zhou, you mentioned self-restraint. Could it be that you're not from this era? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he caught a few key words. That's right. I came from the ancient times, the era when the 9 Thearchs dominated the world. However, due to some reasons, I had no choice but to seal myself. I didn't expect that this little monkey would accidentally dig it out, Zhou Panlong said with a smile. 9 Emperors era? Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian could not help but tremble. They looked at each other and revealed a shocked expression. In the ancient times, the 9 Thearchs had dominated the world for many years. They did not expect Zhou Panlong to have such a great background. Little monkey, go and catch a few demonic beasts for me. I haven't eaten for so many years, and my mouth is about to become bland. Brothers, please take a seat. It just so happens that I also have something to ask of you. Zhou Panlong instructed the golden ape. He then gestured for Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian to sit cross-legged beside a clear river. They left the messy battlefield, but they didn't go too far. They stopped by a small river nearby. The golden ape was the overlord of this mountain range. Sensing the aura of the golden ape, the surrounding demonic beasts were so frightened that they fled in all directions. The golden ape heard Zhou Panlong's instructions. Although it was a little unwilling, Zhou Panlong's power had already left a shadow in its heart. It muttered a few times, but still turned around and walked into the depths of the mountain range. Not long after, the golden ape returned with a black python that was dozens of feet long, and a 5-colored cicadere. Under Zhou Panlong's instructions, the golden ape clumsily cut open the python and cicadere's stomachs and washed them by the river. Then it set up a bonfire and began to barbecue them. The black python and cicadere were both half-saint demonic beasts. They were very powerful, and their bodies contained incomparably pure energy. Moreover, the meat was extremely delicious. Soon the fragrance of the meat wafted out. The meat was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, and it was sizzling with oil. It looked crystal clear, and it aroused one's appetite. Zhou Panlong, Ling Xiao, and Zhao Ritian's appetites were greatly aroused. At this moment, they didn't hesitate to take the barbecued meat. Ling Xiao also took out a few jars of apricot wine, and began to eat heartily. How delightful! I haven't felt this good in a long time. Zhou Panlong finished the barbecued meat and apricot wine and sighed with emotion. After the conversation, Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and Zhou Panlong quickly became familiar with each other. Even Zhao Ritian, who didn't think highly of Zhou Panlong, began to put his arm around Zhou Panlong's shoulder and call him brother after drinking the apricot wine. Brother Zhou, why did you seal yourself? Is it also for the Heaven's Choice Convention? Ling Xiao asked curiously. Brother Long actually knows about the Heaven's Choice Convention? It seems that the Heaven's Choice Convention is about to begin. That's right. The reason I sealed myself is naturally for the Heaven's Choice Convention. In our era, the 9 emperors dominated the world. Although the human race was prosperous, the heavenly Tao was flawed. It was impossible to become an emperor. Many prodigies were unwilling to break through just like that. In the end, their lifespan was exhausted and they turned to dust, so they chose to seal themselves. Legend has it that the Heaven's Choice Convention contains the secret to becoming an emperor. However, the Heaven's Choice Convention only opens at the end of every era, when the great calamity of the era is about to arrive. That's why I chose to seal myself. Zhou Panlong didn't hide anything from Ling Xiao and slowly explained. Moreover, according to Zhou Panlong, it was much easier to seal oneself before becoming a sage. However, it was almost impossible for a sage to seal oneself. Therefore, when many geniuses sealed themselves, they didn't even become an emperor. Zhou Panlong was full of confidence in the Heaven's Choice Convention. When he mentioned the Heaven's Choice Convention, his eyes were filled with anticipation. Ling Xiao nodded and said, according to the information I've gathered, the Heaven's Choice Convention should open in a few years. At that time, countless prodigies from all over the heavens and realms will probably enter to fight for the supreme fortune. That's right. However, it's not just the prodigies from all over the heavens and realms. There will also be prodigies from ancient times who sealed themselves. Those are the people you should really pay attention to, Zhou Panlong said slowly. Brother Zhou, why do you have a dragon tattoo on your chest? Could it be that you have some relationship with the dragon race? Zhao Ritian stared at the dragon tattoo on Zhou Panlong's body and asked curiously. You're talking about this dragon tattoo? Speaking of which, it does have some relationship with the dragon race. This is a dragon race divine ability that I cultivate. It usually exists in the form of a tattoo, and is nourished by my blood essence. Chapter 1982. Brother Zhou, do you know what the great calamity of the era is? Ling Xiao asked emotionally. When the Chosen One was mentioned, Ling Xiao could vaguely feel that an unstoppable torrent was about to sweep across the universe. Billions of living beings could not resist it. That was the great calamity of the era. However, many people did not know what the great calamity of the era was. The great calamity of the era is called the great calamity of the era because it's an irresistible calamity for all living beings. Brother Long, do you know how the myriad worlds came to be? Zhou Panlong's eyes were deep as he looked at the endless void. He did not answer Ling Xiao's question directly. Instead, he asked a question of his own. The myriad worlds? Didn't they already exist at the beginning of the universe? Zhao Ritian asked curiously. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he asked in shock. Brother Zhou, could it be that the myriad worlds were not what they are now? Could it be due to some reason? Ling Xiao's heart pounded violently as soon as he thought of that. Zhou Panlong's eyes revealed a hint of approval as he said, "You're right. The so-called myriad worlds did not exist during the ancient times. Our universe originally only had an incomparably huge origin land that floated in the endless sea of chaos, immortal and indestructible. At the beginning of the world's creation, countless battles between gods and demons had shattered the source continent, gradually forming the myriad realms of the heavens and earth. If one were to view the origin continent as a person, then his head, limbs, and body would be the myriad realms of the universe. The so-called great calamity of the era is the origin land accumulating power to restore his head, limbs, and body as one. Therefore, in the past great calamities of the era, many greater worlds would be destroyed and countless living beings would die. Legend has it that the great calamity of the era this time is the most terrifying one. When the time comes, the myriad worlds will be destroyed and reunited to form a new origin land. Therefore, in this great calamity of the era, countless living beings will die. Only those who are strong enough to control their own destiny will have the hope of surviving the great calamity of the era. The secret revealed by Zhou Panlong made Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's bodies tremble. Their eyes were filled with incomparable shock. They had never imagined that there would be such a huge secret hidden in the myriad of worlds. Perhaps even many of the saints and patriarchs of the 12 immortal holy lands did not know about this secret. Perhaps only those old antiques and living fossils who had lived for countless years would know a thing or two about it. The myriad worlds would merge into one and form a new source continent. This was undoubtedly explosive news for Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. At that time, no matter if it was the Devil Clan, Monster Clan, Ghost Clan, Sorcerer Clan, or any other living beings, they would all return to the God realm. Then, what would happen to the human clan in the God realm? One could imagine that after the great tribulation of the epoch, there would definitely be an unprecedented era of great battles. Not long after the heaven's chosen council, the epic tribulation will arrive. It might be 10,000 years, 1,000 years, 100 years, 10 years, or even a year. If you want to survive the great tribulation of the epoch, you must obtain enough power in the Chosen One assembly. At the very least, you must become a saint. Ling Xiao said slowly, his eyes filled with sharpness. That's right. Thus, the Heaven's Choice Convention is the last chance for countless geniuses. No one wants to be reduced to cannon fodder in the great calamity of an epoch. Thus, they can only strive to be the first to slaughter their way through a mountain of blades and a sea of blood. Zhou Panlong nodded and said, Brother Zhou, where did those great emperors from the primordial era go? Could it be that he also chose to seal himself like you? Zhao Ritian suddenly asked. Those great emperors? Zhou Panlong's eyes revealed a hint of seriousness as he said, some great emperors might have died in battle. Some great emperors might have entered the Chaos Sea. As for those great emperors who chose to seal themselves, it's not that there aren't any, but they must pay a huge price. That price is something that even a great emperor would not be willing to bear. Although there are no great emperors in the myriad of worlds now, once the great tribulation of the epoch descends, the myriad of worlds will return to one. I'm afraid that a true great emperor will descend. After hearing Zhou Panlong's words, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian looked at each other and felt a sense of urgency in their hearts. Ling Xiao, Zhao Ritian, and Zhou Panlong sat by the river and chatted. Zhou Panlong obtained some information about the current realm of the gods from Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. He also learned about the 12 immortal sanctuaries and some hidden ancient clans. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian also learned about many ancient secrets from Zhou Panlong. Alright, brothers, it's time for me to leave. Time is of the essence. I still have some unfinished business to attend to. Let's meet again at the Chosen One Assembly. Zhou Panlong stood up and smiled at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. All right. Take care, Brother Zhou. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian nodded. Even though they had only known each other for half a day, Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian had already developed a good impression of Zhou Panlong. At this moment, they were somewhat reluctant to part with him. Zhou Panlong smiled at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, and prepared to leap up and leave this ancient mountain range. Rumble. Suddenly, a dazzling divine light bloomed in the distant void. The flower of Tao descended from the sky. Celestial music filled the air and auspicious vapors rose. It was ethereal and mysterious. Endless amounts of heaven and earth energy gathered and formed a huge vortex. In the center of the vortex, the figure of a man could be seen. Zhou Panlong suddenly thought of something. He could not help but tremble. His eyes revealed a trace of seriousness. Boom. The figure of the man slowly solidified and finally appeared in front of Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. That was a perfect and flawless man. He wore violet gold armor, and his figure was tall and handsome. His skin was translucent like jade, and his appearance was extraordinarily handsome. His black hair was soft like satin, and it fluttered behind his head in an unruly manner. His eyes were as deep as the ocean, and they seemed to contain the fluctuations of endless time and space. They were ancient and mysterious. His aura was very mysterious. He was like an ancient celestial emperor, who had transcended the mortal world. He had a dignified, mysterious, and superior aura that made people feel ashamed of their inferiority. Emperor, you've come out too. Zhou Panlong stared at the man in the sky. His voice was unprecedentedly solemn. Emperor? This name. What a big name. Zhao Ritian exclaimed in surprise. His face was filled with dissatisfaction. Chapter 1983. Zhou Panlong, you're still alive? Interesting, this is really interesting. Looks like I'll meet many old friends in this life. I'm not alone anymore. An indifferent and ethereal voice sounded. It had a mysterious tone to it. The Son of Heaven stood in the air. His eyes seemed to contain a vast and deep starry sky as he looked down at Zhou Panlong. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian, who were beside Zhou Panlong, were completely ignored by him. Of course I won't die. Even if I can't defeat you, I'll torture you to death. Zhou Panlong sneered. His voice was filled with hostility. This Tianzi is also from the ancient era? Judging from Zhou Panlong's words, his strength is even more terrifying than Zhou Panlong's. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he thought to himself. Brothers, if I fight with Tianzi later, you should leave this place immediately. Tianzi's strength is extremely terrifying. If a battle breaks out, I won't be able to protect you. Zhou Panlong's voice suddenly sounded in Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian's mind. Brother Zhou, this Tianzi is also from the ancient era? Ling Xiao asked. That's right. Do you know why he's called Tianzi? Legend has it that he's the son of the Emperor of Heaven. Although there's no evidence to prove it, he's known as the #1 sky pride of the ancient era. His strength is terrifying. I'm indeed no match for him. I didn't expect him to seal himself in this era. Looks like this world is going to be in chaos soon. Zhou Panlong said with some emotion. The son of the Emperor of Heaven? Ling Zhao's body trembled. His eyes were filled with shock. The Emperor of Heaven was known as the leader of the 9 emperors of the human race. He was also the most terrifying one. Legend has it that many great emperors had died in his hands. It was even said that the Emperor of Heaven's strength had long surpassed the limits of the great emperor realm. One could imagine how terrifying Tianzi's strength would be if he was really the son of the Emperor of Heaven. The #1 sky pride of the ancient era? What a boastful claim. In this era, I, Zhao Ritian, am the #1 sky pride of the ancient era. It's fine if he doesn't provoke me. If he dares to provoke me, I'll teach him a lesson. Zhao Ritian snorted coldly and said with incomparable arrogance. Zhao Ritian, that's what I admire about you. Your confidence and arrogance for no reason. I have faith in you. Go and kill him. Ling Xiao patted Zhao Ritian's shoulder as he said. I won't lower myself to his level for the time being. He didn't provoke me, so it's not right to act rashly. Zhao Ritian said shamelessly. That's enough, brothers. I'm not joking. Tianzi's strength is really terrifying. If you see that something is wrong, leave immediately. Zhou Panlong interrupted Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian helplessly. Zhou Panlong, you're still too weak. Tianzi said indifferently. Then a stream of light flashed under his feet. Suddenly, the void trembled. A blazing light bloomed in the void. Then Tianzi disappeared in an instant. From the beginning to the end, he did not even look at Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. Tianzi. Zhou Panlong clenched his fists tightly, and there was a trace of anger in his eyes. He took a deep breath, and his eyes became incomparably deep. He did not expect Tianzi to leave just like that. Zhou Panlong thought that there would be a fierce battle between him and Tianzi. However, Tianzi's disregard made him feel even worse. Brother Zhou, Tianzi has also appeared. Looks like there will be many sky prides appearing in the ancient era of great battles. All sorts of monsters will appear in the ancient era of great battles. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he said slowly. That guy is even more arrogant than me. However, he's really strong. If I meet him in the ancient era of great battles, I really want to fight him. Zhao Ritian said eagerly. In the ancient era of great battles, we have to fight and fight. Brothers, I'll take my leave first. The next time we meet will be in the ancient era of great battles. Zhou Panlong took a deep breath as he said to Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian. All right. Brother Zhou, we'll meet again. Ling Xiao and Zhao Ritian nodded in agreement. Come with me. Zhou Panlong looked at the golden ape and said. The golden ape hesitated for a moment, but still nodded. Then it leaped into the air with Zhou Panlong and turned into 2 rays of golden light, disappearing into the horizon. Ling Xiao, I'm leaving too. Take care of yourself. Your identity has been exposed. Even if you return to the War God Shrine, I'm afraid there will be people who will harm you. Don't die. At least, you can't die before I defeat you. Zhao Ritian said with a smile. Where are you going? Ling Xiao asked. After spending some time together, he knew that Zhao Ritian was not a bad person. He was just a little arrogant and stubborn. Although Zhao Ritian did not admit it, he had already treated Ling Xiao as a friend in his heart. Ling Xiao was well aware of this. When he heard that Zhao Ritian was going to leave, he felt a sense of reluctance in his heart. Of course I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to see the vast divine realm, and see the so-called geniuses of the sacred grounds. I'm going to train my cultivation. Of course there are too many things to do. You, on the other hand, have too many things on your shoulders. Being happy is the most important thing. Don't you think so? Zhao Ritian smiled at Ling Xiao. His eyes were filled with wisdom. Whoosh! He waved at Ling Xiao silently and leaped into the sky like Zhou Panlong. His figure turned into a ray of light and disappeared into the void. That bastard! Zhao Ritian scolded with a smile. However, there was a tinge of emotion in his eyes. Zhao Ritian was not stupid. On the contrary, he was extremely intelligent and farsighted. It was just that his arrogant appearance usually covered it. He had walked with Ling Xiao all the way from the War God world. Naturally, he had seen everything that Ling Xiao was carrying. At this moment before he left, he could not help but advise him. Ling Xiao knew very well that Zhao Ritian's words made him feel like he was a confidant. Whoosh! The mountains around him were undulating. Ling Xiao stood on top of a mountain peak. The sea of clouds filled his eyes. The mountain breeze blew and his clothes fluttered, adding a sense of loneliness to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao only sighed with emotion for a moment. Then he calmed himself down and left the place. No matter what was waiting for Ling Xiao in the War God Temple, he had to face and bear it personally. More importantly, Ling Xiao brought back the eternal creation pill this time. It was enough to heal Lu Wenzheng, Void Pierce Stage, and Chong He's Dao injuries and restore them to the Saint Realm. Chapter 1984. Rumble. It was a vast and mysterious land in front of them. Divine mountains lay dormant on the ground like primordial ferocious beasts, exuding an ancient and vast aura. Towering ancient trees stood on the mountains, and there were old vines and precious herbs everywhere. They flowed with sparkling light, auspicious qi, and tens of thousands of beams of divine light. It was like an ancient mythological era. There were at least a few hundred of those divine mountains, occupying an area of tens of thousands of miles, making this piece of land appear extremely extraordinary. In the center, there were 9 archaic divine mountains floating. Each of them was shrouded in mysterious light, and there was a powerful formation fluctuation, exuding a heart-palpitating aura. War God Temple, I'm back. Ling Xiao stared at the mysterious land in front of him, his face full of emotions. He thought it would take a long time to return to War God Temple, but he didn't expect that he and Zhao Ritian would land in the Shangqing Heaven Domain, not far from War God Temple. Therefore, he returned to War God Temple in just a few days. Looking at the mountain gate of War God Temple, Ling Xiao was filled with emotions. Although he had only been away for a few years, he felt as if he had been away for millions of years. I wonder how senior brother Lu Wenjing and the others are doing? Ling Xiao's eyes showed a hint of anticipation. When Ling Xiao left War God Temple, Lu Wenjing was cultivating with Bai Susu, Huzi Longma, and the others. Chong Xuchong and his 2 senior brothers were not in War God Temple. This time, Ling Xiao brought back the regeneration pill, hoping to completely heal their Dao injuries. At the mountain gate of War God Temple, there were several young disciples in black armor guarding. They all had extraordinary auras and were all half-saints. You are Long Outian. When they saw Ling Xiao, they couldn't help but tremble, and their eyes showed a hint of surprise. What? Are you surprised to see me? Ling Xiao asked faintly. He was the master of War God Temple, and his status was high, second only to the Supreme Elders and War God. Even the Nishang Saintess had to call him martial uncle when she saw him. Therefore, the disciples couldn't help but feel their hearts skip a beat. They quickly said, "No, Marshal Uncle Long, we just didn't expect you to actually come back now." A young disciple who seemed to be a third revolution half-sage hesitated for a moment. Then he said, "Marshal Uncle Long, you'd better not return to the sect. The people of the Heavenly Curse sect and the Hua clan are here. This time, they're here to denounce you. They've named you by name." The Heavenly Curse sect and the Chinese? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. The Heavenly Curse sect was also one of the 12 immortal sacred lands. However, they were in cahoots with the 5 Elements Saint sect and the Space-Time Heavenly Gate. They didn't have a good relationship with the War God Temple. As for the Chinese, he had heard from Panga Tiangang that they were the descendants of the 9 emperors. They were the true emperor clan. Even though the emperor clans were hidden from the world, aloof from worldly affairs, their foundations were incomparably deep, not weaker than the 12 undying holy lands, to the extent where they even vaguely surpassed them. Why did the Heavenly Curse sect and the Chinese come to denounce him? Could it be because of Ji Feishuan? Ling Xiao thought in his heart. Only Ji Feishuan's Supreme Emperor weapon Zhou Tian's life and death mirror could make the immortal sacred grounds and monarch clans care so much about it. However, the war god didn't care that the Heavenly Curse sect and the Chinese were here to denounce him? As if he could read Ling Zhao's mind, the young disciple explained softly, "Junior Uncle Long, the war god is in seclusion. The Thunder Hall Master, Lei Xuanji, is temporarily in charge of the sect's affairs." Lei Qianjue's brother, Lei Xuanji? Ling Xiao understood. Both Lei Qianjue and Lei Xuanji had shown their hostility to him. Now that Lei Xuanji was temporarily in charge of the sect's affairs, even though he couldn't openly indulge the Heavenly Curse sect and the Chinese, he could still secretly play some tricks. Ling Xiao could imagine that the War God Temple was not having a good time. "What's your name?" "Thank you." Ling Xiao nodded at the young disciple. "My name is Fong Lin. Junior Uncle Long, you should leave now," Fong Lin said with a wry smile. Slap. At this moment, there was the sound of something breaking through the air. A black whip flew out from afar, about to strike Fong Lin's face in an instant. Ling Zhao's gaze turned cold. He could sense the terrifying power contained in the whip. It was not something Fong Lin could withstand. If he really was struck, his flesh would probably be torn apart in an instant. Ling Xiao stretched out 2 fingers and caught the long black whip. No matter how hard the owner of the long whip tried, he couldn't pull the long whip back. Who are you? How dare you beat up the disciples of the War God Temple? Ling Zhao's eyes were cold as he stared at the figures that were approaching from afar. They were three young people with extraordinary auras. One of them was a young man and a young woman in dark green Taoist robes. They followed behind a young man in white and slowly walked over. The young man in white was handsome. His eyes were as bright as the stars. He had a faint smile on his face. With his hands behind his back, he looked arrogant and cold. His cultivation had reached the 6th revolution half-saint realm. His aura was very powerful. The young man and the young woman in dark green Taoist robes were both 5th revolution half-saints. The young man was handsome and the young woman was pretty. The young woman was holding the long black whip in her hand. Her face had turned red, but she still couldn't pull the long whip back. Let go. Don't blame me for being rude if you don't let go. The pretty girl glared at Ling Zhao. Her voice was very sharp, and she had a condescending attitude. Her thin lips seemed a little mean. We should be the ones asking who you are. How dare you insult the people of the Heavenly Curse sect and the Chinese? You'll be punished. The man in the dark green robe said indifferently. His eyes were as sharp as knives as they fell on Ling Zhao. Who am I? Ha ha ha. Haven't you been looking for me? Very well. The Heavenly Curse sect and the Chinese are behaving atrociously in the War God Temple. Are all the people of the War God Temple dead? Lei Xuanji, are you betraying the War God Temple? Ling Zhao was so angry that he laughed. His eyes were full of coldness. These three people of the Heavenly Curse sect and the Chinese dared to be so arrogant in the War God Temple. However, no one stopped them. It was like allowing bandits to do whatever they wanted in their own home. It was simply unbearable. Ling Zhao was extremely angry. He was also full of dissatisfaction with Lei Xuanji. As for the disciples guarding the mountain gate, after hearing Ling Zhao's words, each and every one of them revealed a sullen and ashamed expression. You are Long Outyan. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.